Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Clipit podcast, episode 27. I got it right that time. We are officially recording, and it's good to
I'm
Yeah,
doing
I'm all right.
excellent.
good. Now, I'm going to start this one off differently. NFC can fucking piss off. So inconsistent as shit.
Right.
Right.
There's
Well,
a story behind this.
Okay.
yeah.
So number one, what's the retail price of your phone? I don't care, like if you have it on contract. What's the retail price?
I want to say I don't actually know. Let me find out quickly.
Okay. While you check that out. So my phone I got for just about 400 quid, including the case and charger and extra screen protector, has not had. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've at any point in my life failed an NFC transaction or like attempt. It is worked. I've got like a 100% fuck. 100% success rate on
100%
NFC.
sex rate. Oh, yeah.
I don't have 100%. It's close to that. It's like every now and then when I go to like fucking Mackey's, sometimes their machines kind of throw a wobbly, but that's it.
Yeah, but that's McDonald's machine. Like, they've literally always been
So
shit.
I was going to say...
Every time I go in there's a new problem with them.
I was going to say the exact same when I used to work at Primark. And even at my current workplace, it's just inconsistent. I don't know if it's just my end or whatnot, but I always find it just doesn't work. Others don't work. It's not just mine. It's like loads of others just don't work in general, and I don't know why. It's annoying. So that's my reasoning behind it. I'm not gonna lie.
I rarely use contactless, to be
Yeah,
perfectly honest.
I don't really use
I would rather
contactless
not.
on my phone. I more use on my card, but
That'll be an
same.
interesting debate to have, actually. So the reason I
Good.
prefer using my phone over my card, right, is my card isn't secure. Okay? To make a contactless transaction with my card, someone has to have my physical card and put it down. Now, the limit was £30 for a while. I'm not sure when the change is happening, but it's going up to 100-ish or
It?
something. It was a change the UK government made. But I think it gives banks the right to like let you set your own limit. So I think you can set a limit in like your internet banking or something as well, possibly. I'm not sure,
Okay.
but it's going up. That's the point, right?
Yes.
Which means
absolutely.
once that changes, if I lose my card or someone else has my card and for some reason they're being a malicious arsehole, even though I trusted them or whatever the situation may be, they can take 100 quid from my bank account with a single just move the card, like no authentication, no
Yeah.
check from me, no check from my bank. That's fucking terrible. If I use my phone, which is Google Pay, I'm not versed in how Apple Pay's security setup works. To do that, £5 transaction, sure, you can do that. Put the phone down, under £5, it does it. Anything above that, got to use my passcode or my fingerprint scanner, and that's immediately more secure. Like, I still get the convenience of just tap and go, because all I have to do now is tap while my finger's on the fingerprint scanner. It will immediately authenticate it because my phone will unlock in the process of me moving my phone to the scanner. It does the transaction and bam. And that's just way more secure to me. I like knowing that my wireless transactions that can just be done by a literal hand movement are secured by some form of authentication that it's me doing them. I don't like the contactless. If I could not have a contactless card, which I mean I could, but it's a lot of effort, I would not do it. But I don't use my card. In fact, I often don't even take my card out of my house because I don't like contactless cards. They're just dangerous, in my opinion.
That's
Not dangerous. They're just stupid. Like if someone steals them, the ability they give to someone in comparison to old chip and pin is terrible.
I understand that. That it is dangerous. You know, taking your contactless card out is just dangerous in general. Same with your phone, but your phone's got more security behind it, no matter what. But like I have that slight comfort of knowing that the bank will pay back up to a certain amount. Especially if you've got good deeds with that bank, which, you know, a good majority of people I would say do. You know, very rarely will you have arguments with your bank unless they are being dicks or you're just a dick yourself. But I don't know. I've never had an issue when it comes to the physical side of, or like when it comes to like the security of using a contactless card. I never lose it, never lost it, never left it somewhere. Very rarely will people touch me on the butt. Actually, no. I don't understand people who put their wallets in their back pocket. I don't find that practical in any way,
I
shape, or
understand
form.
people who put anything in their back pocket. Fuck back pockets.
Yep.
Phones is the thing is, I always never understood.
Definitely don't put your phone in the back
No.
pocket.
So
Just
this is a genuine point.
Android, sure. Apple, no, it'll break.
Yeah. This is a genuine annoyance. And I was listening to Tom Scott Park Bench today, and it kind of brought this up actually. The thing I never
They're
understood,
old.
especially when I was in college, is why do girls put their phone in their back pocket? Because most of the time they don't ever have a front pocket, so they don't have a choice. But still, people sit on their with their phone in the back pocket. I'm like, how have you not broken your phone already? But yeah, no, that
I mean, yeah,
still annoys me
pockets
to this
and
day. To put front pockets on a fucking trousers doesn't matter what gender that person is.
yeah, pockets in women's clothing is a mess. It's terrible.
It is
Yeah.
horrific. But you know, I don't understand. I can understand. I don't know. Maybe like the thing is, I know people who put their wallet in their back pocket, and when they get in the car, they put it in the sun thing. What do you call it?
Visor?
Yeah, sun visor. Like that just
Hmm.
seems impractical. What if it falls out if you hit a bump or something?
Hmm.
But no, I never understood putting it because it's more vulnerable. Someone could just instantly come up. But it's not like the side pockets any better, but I feel like I'm more secure. I know if someone's gonna go for my front pocket. So ain't that I
Yeah.
no, but no, yeah.
Really?
This is actually we could talk
Nice
about
solid
like.
end.
Do you guys have an ETC? EDC, sorry. Everyday carry. Like what would you be? What would your EDC be when you go outside?
Sorry, is this a normal acronym that people use?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard this
You've
before. I'm
never
like
heard
googling it.
EDC? Everyday carry?
Okay, it's just
No.
what items do you carry day to day? Like if you were just to...
Yeah, I've
okay,
never heard that
sure.
in my life.
Really?
Never heard that.
I'm
You're
sorry,
a fool.
I'm
You're making
Google
it up.
Trendsing EDC. I need to see how many people fucking search this term.
Okay. There are too many people to. Okay, if I'm going out, it's
North Dakota is the
phone,
most popular
wallet.
search region.
Literally, look it up on YouTube. You'll find shit tons of videos about it. I know it because of
Yeah,
Adam
just
Savage. So
phone and wallet. Phone goes. Say I'm going out for a drive. Phone goes in my right pocket. Wallet goes in my left. This is my only exception to something in my back pocket. Is my car key will go in my back pocket because it doesn't stay there for long.
okay.
And I don't know why. I just don't want to like put it in with my phone or wallet where I could pull it out by accident.
Oh, and you don't want to scratch your I don't see the point
Yeah.
of putting coins and
It's not 2006. Come on.
yeah, but
Get
you
a
can
phone with
still
better glass.
cause
No,
Yeah,
you
like
and-
can't.
scratches.
I've had my keys. I've had a whole keychain. I've had all of my coins and all of my cards in with my phone. Not a single scratch. Just get a good phone.
No, if anybody knows Jerry Rigfins, you'll understand this. But keys and coins won't cause a level 6 or 7 scratch,
Okay.
but they can still cause light bits of damage, which then can cause higher scratches. It's very, very unlikely, and I will. The thing is, carry on with your EDC. So yeah, car keys in the back pocket because they're not there for long.
Yeah, and it's not like they're on a fob or anything. They're separate. But yeah, that's my one exception to the back pocket thing.
Okay. What about yourself, Ash? Do you have, or is it just different?
Well, for me, I literally carry my bag around with me everywhere. So I'm the
Oh.
kind of guy who keeps all of that shit in my bag.
Okay.
I always feel suspicious if I carry a bag around.
Yeah.
Carry
Like-
a bag around because like the
No,
amount-
you
because I work
can't go
in
into a shop
retail,
and
right?
not feel guilty.
Is that
Like,
that
I'm like,
awkward
no, I
moment of-
swear I'm not stealing.
I work
I
in retail,
swear.
so the amount of times I've seen people fucking fork over for a 20p bag because oh no,
True,
I don't
that's-
have mine with me. I forgot
Yeah, no,
it. I
that's
left
fair.
it in the
That's-
car.
that's fair.
Just carry it with you, no matter
I know.
where you go, everywhere, 24/7.
There's
I also carry my bag with me everywhere.
there's
Now,
You both look
I
like
can't-
thieves.
I can also understand where feelings coming from though, because I'm going to put you in a situation. We're all going to imagine ourselves, okay? We're going to have to be a bit
Okay.
creative with our mind here.
Yeah, good luck.
You've
with
never
that.
committed a
Oh,
crime
dear,
in your
so
life. You have
far.
no criminal record, and you're literally got nothing but a pair of jeans and a t-shirt on. But you're going for airport security, and for some reason you feel like you recently blew up the Twin Towers. Okay?
Yeah.
So you're terrified for some reason because your brain just does that. That, but
Bloody
with
hell.
a rucksack, you immediately feel worse. It's like, oh god, they're going to think about my rucksack. They're going to have to search my rucksack. You just get, it's just worse. I do understand, even though I bring my bag everywhere. Like it is true.
Never
So
agreed
this
that
is-
rucksacks
It's easy.
are
Just
worse.
don't feel guilty.
It's very minor,
Yeah,
the only
easier said
reason
than done.
the only reason I wouldn't take a bag all around, or it's two reasons. One, I find it a bit more inconvenient. Like especially if I'm just going to work. I don't work in a place where I'm constantly taking stuff and putting stuff. Like I would need a bag,
Nor am I.
so I don't feel like it's convenient. Second of all, when I used to take a bag, when I used to go to a part-time job, um, one of the shops I would like to go, or I had to go to a couple times, and I've been to a couple of these. They don't let you take backpacks in. Don't ask me why.
What?
They just don't let you
What?
take backpacks in.
Oh
So that
man,
was
that's a
just the most.
policy I'm gonna get enforced at
That
work.
was just the most inconvenient thing for me because I'm like, where can I put my bag? Or I've got social anxiety. I'm not going to ask someone at the front, can you hold my
Do I
bag
have
while
to
I go
now
in the
keep my
shop?
knife like under my fucking trousers and it could stab me? That's
Yeah,
dangerous,
it's
bro.
No, I think it was anti-theft. Like they just want to avoid, probably because they
So-
were understaffed or something. I
Do you
don't
want
know.
to know what my EDC is then?
I'll tell
Yes,
mine
what's your
after. Go on.
EDC?
Because it's quite fucking extensive, and you're all gonna rag on me for this. So,
I can't wait.
if I'm going out and about,
Technically, I carry my smart band every day, but that's like attached
well,
to me.
that's like a
this
wearable.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no,
sure
no. That
that's-
Yeah,
counts.
so I
No,
don't
because
know.
that is a
Oh,
Okay.
watch.
do my clothes count? Sorry, did none of us specify clothes in our EDC?
Sorry, guys. I am here to regret to inform you that I do not wear underwear to work. But I'm sorry, but I have to inform
Yeah,
you
I
of that
bet.
now because of what Charlie said.
Damn. Anyway, right. So I'm not gonna specify what pockets for my own individual security. Don't try and steal from me, bitch. But in one pocket, I carry my keys, and on my keys I have house key, secondary house key, backdoor house key, family house key, which I won't specify what family member. I have my office key, which is mostly for like filing cabinets and stuff in my room and drawers. I have my authentication key, security. I have a couple key rings that I like there, and I have a couple bits and pieces like loyalty cards for companies and stuff that you scan when you check out. I carry my cards in a card wallet. I don't have any normal wallet. I don't use cash pretty much exclusively. So I have just a RFID NFC blocking lead-lined wallet that I keep cards in, which I keep like my Oyster card in.
Survive a
and
nuclear
like-
Did
war, that
specify
wallet
my
can.
cards?
It can. Nonetheless, I don't always bring my actual bank card in that for the reason I specified earlier. I'll bring my phone. All of this is in one pocket, and I will have some loose change that's probably left over from, like, unironically, like 10 years ago when I
Yeah.
had to use a note that time instead of cash, and it's just stayed there since, and it just exists in pain and suffering. And in my backpack, I'll have a bunch of tissues, because I get really bad fever and I just need to be able to like blow my nose anywhere, anytime. It sucks. Especially at the moment, I've got like hand sanitizer. I've got hand moisturizer because I got bad skin, and
Handitizer.
especially with hand sanitizer, that gets painful as shit. So that's nice to have. I have a battery bank on me at all times. What else would I have in there? Probably my Switch, because even if I don't use it all the time, I kind of just have that in my bag a lot because it's nice to have when I go out. Yeah, that's about everything.
Okay, that's not. I
Quite a
wouldn't.
lot.
Oh, I didn't mention my. Hang on, let me have a look what cards I have.
I
Now that
wouldn't
you
say.
mentioned yours.
I wouldn't say that's excessive. You got everything in there that you want.
Oh
and-
my god, I lost my wallet. It's
Am I
okay.
the only
It's
one
okay.
who like doesn't take their wallet out and about with them?
So yeah, I think so because what
Okay.
I do. Do you want to
Oh,
go first? With your cards.
Okay, I just want to finish up. I've got my barbershop loyalty card, which is like one hole punch short of a free haircut.
Not bad.
But
That's
also
actually
that
quite
place,
consistent. I'm surprised.
yeah, that place isn't great, so I stopped going.
Like say,
I've got a C card, which I'm not sure. What's the age? Can I still? Is it 21 or 24? Ah, I might still be able to get those.
You can
I
get them
got
for
me
free
bus
anyway. You just need
pass,
to head
me
to your
driving
nearest
license.
SHC.
And me bus. True. And my driving license, bus card, and card. Card. In case it wasn't clear.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice consistent. Got to
So
reorganize it all though now. wasn't worth it.
mine's kind of changed just because of the whole COVID thing. So at the moment I have my phone in my right pocket, wallet in my left pocket with my wireless earphones in there. My keys are in my back right pocket, and that has my house key on it as well as a bottle opener. My Tesco's club card, had a few little key rings on it, and on my left back pocket I always have my mask in there. In my wallet I have my free bank cards, my my actual like Tesco's club card. I've got a Iceland club card. a Superdrug Club card, and a WH Smith Club card. And I try to avoid cash as much as I possibly can because I just hate it with a passion. Because I always, for me, consistently, it's always cash gets turned into smaller coinage, and then that never goes away. It's either put into a pot somewhere or just lost down like a somewhere. It's lost somewhere. Like I hate cash with an absolute passion. So, like I'm one of those inconsistent people where sometimes I'll put the cash in my wallet, like if it's small change, like pennies or 20p's or whatnot. Or sometimes I'll just put it in my back pocket if I'm in a rush, and then I'll just leave it. I won't bother putting
Or
it
a
back in my
blazer
pocket.
pocket.
Yeah,
If you
or a
wanna be
blazer
Sonic.
pocket when I used to wear blazers. I used to in my blazer when I used to go to school, I would always consistently in the inside pocket, which was on the left side, I would always have my calculator and some change in there.
No, that's where my train pass went.
Yeah.
Well, if there's any thieves in chat, they know where to look now.
Yeah, look inside my old school blazer.
I used to have my old college pass back in my wallet for a long time. I don't know why.
The only thing I'll say
Oh, that's
as well,
I still have my uni pass in my wallet.
to comment on Caden saying, "Am I the only one that goes out without a wallet?" Like, I don't have a wallet. Like, I don't have a fat ass annoying piece of shit that's ugly and awful and useless and not easy to use and not convenient and just a shit product that should be burnt and
We've
removed from the hell
accidentally
of earth.
plugged Ridge Wallet like 5 times
fuck
already.
No,
and
I
I'm
am
pretty
not.
They're
sure
also
4 of the
incredibly
occasions have
overexpensive.
been
They're
from you.
shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
These
Ridge.
products serve one purpose in life, and that's giving YouTubers that actually deserve an income for creating great content a sponsorship and nothing more.
They are overpriced as crap.
For real.
Anyway,
Like they're
right?
good products,
Yeah.
but too expensive.
They're okay products. There's way cheaper equivalents to do the same thing for half the price, and those are better. Anyway, I'm not getting into Ridge Wallet
They're
arguments.
still trying to redefine
Point
the
is,
wallet, you know.
I don't carry a normal wallet. Like, it's absurd to me, and I would never carry it anywhere because I don't need one. Like, if I have my phone on me, I have access to everything I need. Like, literally anywhere in the UK. Like ID, paying money, stuffs, transactions. That's the word. Like rail card, Oyster card. Like, I have everything. Like, I don't need anything
Still
more
can't
on
get
my
my
phone.
bus pass on my phone.
Terrible.
Yeah,
I would
honestly,
say
it's fucking awful. It's years
I'll
behind.
send you that image in private. Don't put it on stream, but
oh damn
gives you
it.
good context as to what I'm talking about.
I was gonna say like
Yeah, it's a wallet.
the idea of just having a wallet it's just I like to
wallet.
have the idea of having like my ID in there, my provisional and soon to be license.
Ooh.
A place to
That's
put
humble
cash
brag.
if I need to. So I will avoid putting like cash just randomly in my pocket as much as I can. Just again, I like to try and keep it somewhat organized.
They have a solution for that. So the policy I've taken
go to
is when I end up with
chuck
this.
the cash back.
No, when I end up with this cash like in my pocket, right? Is if unless I'm like going somewhere in a rush, or like obviously it's dependent on the time because I don't always have the time to like divert from what I'm doing. I might be like making a train connection or something. Because to be honest, I don't go out that much. Like if I'm going out somewhere, I'm probably
Yeah.
traveling somewhere for something, which probably means if I'm in a place, I'm probably going to a train station at some point that day. So. Yeah, I know.
Or a
Like
sexy
almost any
car.
time on this podcast, I talk about going out. It's somehow related to train travel. It's because it's like the only way I get around.
Or a sexy
but-
car.
Sometimes, but that's like local though. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. What I try and do is like if there's like some people sleeping rough or anything like that, I'll try and just like buy them a drink with it and stuff because it whittles the cash down. But the sad thing is, I honestly just don't have the time most of the time or see them because I don't go to cities that often. To be fair, but
Social anxiety.
yeah, I'm more approachable than most store staff.
True.
Fuck
There's
you,
been the
Caden.
odd occasion where
Not
they
working retail.
shout.
Yeah. On the bright side, I now earn £9 an hour.
Bloody
Hey,
hell.
got in a pay
Shit.
rise.
Yeah, it's pretty poggy.
Are you paying tax yet? Or is that
No,
Not
I
coming
don't
up.
pay tax until I'm earning like fucking so much more.
Isn't it
That's
Oh.
like a-
depressing to say.
1200?
Yeah,
month?
it's so much.
1,200.
No, yeah, well, isn't it like 12 grand a year?
It's 12 grand a year. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's £1,000 a month.
I
Nice.
don't think you were going to say monthly though. I thought you misspoke like 12,000 is 1,200 for the year, and that's why
No,
I laughed
no,
at you.
no, no. No, I get because
12,570 to be precise.
12,570.
This is a random tip, but it's vaguely relevant to cards.
Okay.
If you're in the UK and you're in London and you're traveling on the tube, even if you're doing it for like just 2 days, one, get an Oyster card. Number two, if you have a rail card, apply your rail card to your Oyster card because the discount still works. It's fucking amazing.
Hey,
Like you get Oyster travel in London for like 30% off, just like every single thing. And it's like, oh, it's so good.
I was tempted to get a rail card at one point because I was taking the train not as often as any of you.
I'd only recommend it
but-
if you take it a good amount, but yeah.
But it was I didn't in the end. I know someone. No,
I
the
went to
person I was
London
going
and
to.
just did contact.
Fair.
Anyway.
I mean, to be fair, depending on if you buy a 1 year
done.
rail card, the amount of money that could save you on a trip to London could immediately pay it off in one trip. And if that doesn't speak the rhythms about how fucked our train pricing system is,
I got a train for free once. But the thing is, I didn't mean to.
What? How do you not
So,
mean to?
I was going
That's theft.
somewhere.
That's-
I was going somewhere.
Yeah.
It was at a time where well, our train station, to be honest, the ticket booths never open, so they have an electronic one there.
Yeah.
But that wasn't accepting cash, and I didn't have any money on my card. So I took a picture of that, and I took pictures so reference. If one of the conductors came along or someone on the train was like, "Cool, can I have your ticket?" I can say, "Here's my issue. Can I buy one on the train?" Because
You're such a You're setting yourself up for trouble.
I
is
think
what
I've
I'll
actually
say
spoken
already.
about this before, but my experience with people on the train has always been okay. If I say I haven't got a ticket and ask them, "Can I buy one on the train?" they tend to be reasonable and let me.
Most
I
of
need
the
to go
time
through
they
one of my
are,
stories
but
about this.
But like then I got
they
to the
will
then I got
fuck you.
and then so there's only a couple of places where I don't know if I can say this because it will give away. But yeah, well I was going to they have the ticket booths obviously. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so if I don't get a ticket on the train, I'm gonna have to somehow get one at this place, which where you buy the tickets is past the booth. So I don't know how I was gonna do that. I thought I just asked someone on the train. He was like, okay, explain it to someone at the station. They'll probably help you get through, or you can pay for one like when you go through. I was like, cool, thank you very much, and all that. So I got to the station, and all the ticket booths were just automatically open. I don't know why, still don't know to this day, but they were just all open.
oh, you mean ticket gates, right?
Oh yeah, so yeah, booths.
Literal luckiest man in the world,
Yeah.
right there.
I
By
was
the way,
I
that
was
happens at 7 to 8 p.m. depending what part of the UK you're in.
Oh,
wink, wink.
okay. I think it was around that time, so that makes sense. I was tempted to
seen
just
them
jump
open.
the fence though, if I couldn't get through. I was genuinely thinking about that,
I
but
got CCTV. I'll be concerned about that, but you can
yeah.
do it.
But I remember going there not too long ago. This is like a couple months back. I went there. It was me and my girlfriend, and we went to that same ticket gate. And there was 3 teenage girls saying, "Oh, sorry, we couldn't get the ticket on the train, and we couldn't get them at the station." Then this man just went, "I don't give a toss. Can you please go away?" Like
Hell
just
yeah.
not even letting them through. I'm like, how? Wait, okay, Jesus.
Fuck yeah.
They died on that station.
Yes, they could never get back. They were. Oh,
Oh
genuinely.
yeah, I'm with that. Dude.
It seems I just had
Yeah.
good luck with conductors
as
with
someone
true
that-
stuff.
Travels on trains a lot. My advice, if you want to ticket scum, as I'll call it, which I am more than fine with you doing. I don't do it personally because the risk is not good enough for the reward. Because there are tricks and tricks
And
if you're
we're not
traveling long
advocating.
distance. Like for getting the price of the UK train tickets down. It's complicated. We don't need to go into it really, but like,
Mhm.
yeah, if you want to do it, whatever. I ain't judging you. Like, that's fair enough. The trains are expensive and they should not be that expensive, and you need to get around. That's entirely reasonable. I think the whole thing should be nationalised and free.
True, still
Anyway,
advocated. Yeah.
I'm advocating for it heavily. Number one, if you're going to jump ticket gates, cover your face. Don't want facial recognition access. Number two,
That's just
ticket gates
dodgy.
again open at like 7 to 8, sometimes later in cities, but not always. Depends on the city. Number three, travel on the train journey you're doing beforehand while paying. Learn the patterns for collection. They rarely change. Tickets are normally checked in the same areas of a long distance train journey. The reason for this is that these areas are where people come on where there weren't ticket gates. Often, where there are ticket gates now, right, they don't bother checking. Even in places where you like, it's sporadic. Well, like this station has ticket gates, then this one doesn't, this one doesn't, then this one does, then this one does, this one does, that one doesn't, and this one does. Like even in those areas, because the majority of them and the majority of those big ones that have tickets will be populous areas, and the other ones will be very rural or small areas. They won't bother checking tickets, even them on some journeys, right? So just learn where they check them, and do that. Oh yeah,
Okay,
use
fair.
trains. They're cool.
Yeah, no, I would just. It's like, I wouldn't say do it, but like if you're in a like, to be
I wouldn't
honest,
say do it. I say if you are doing it because you don't really feel you have much other option because you can't afford train tickets or whatever. Those are my tips. Like,
So,
yeah.
I used to take the train a lot to school from
Mm.
like when I was younger, from like year like 3 to like year 8-ish. I used to take the train to school.
God,
We used to
year
buy
3, Caden.
Yeah, I know, right?
So-
It's like, yeah, we used to buy weekly tickets every single time for it.
Mhm.
And it got to a point where all of the train conductors just knew me and my sister. So they always knew we had our tickets, so they stopped ticket checking us. And at that point, we realized we don't need to buy tickets anymore. And we saved like 10 quid a week because of that.
Decent.
And it's like for like a year and a bit. They just
Yeah.
never checked us.
Yeah, I've heard a
Bus-
mix. For me, it very much comes down to the conductor. Like, if they're like willing to just be like, yeah, all right, you forgot it, or like even like when we traveled in a group as the score, if you sat separately, depending on the conductor, they just wouldn't check. Sometimes there was never a solid pattern for me, apart from when they came around. That was always fairly solid. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I would say as well, like, again, to be clear, I have actually never traveled for free on a train. I don't think that I can remember.
Me neither.
Maybe I have in
Good
technically
point.
like once I missed a stop, so I got off at a station and caught a train and go back. But that's technically actually within your ticket, so that's fine. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done it. But if you are, I would also say like I would not under any circumstances rely on the conductor being nice. Just don't get seen by the conductor. Like there are toilets
in
on
the
the train,
toilet,
you
yeah.
can figure it out, right? Like
Yeah, that's the most common
I
one, is hiding in
I would
toilets.
not risk that.
By the way,
Because
don't
it's just RNG
also
on the person then.
don't get
I've heard of them
noticed going
waiting.
into the toilets, because if you look
Okay.
sketchy, I have seen conductors waiting outside toilets.
Oh, to fairness,
Like,
the whole thing Alfie said about hide your face is sketchy in my opinion. Don't look at me. Yeah, just
Oh, no.
fine.
well, no, it's because don't look
That's
at
also
cameras,
not gonna
basically, right?
save
Facial
you.
recognition is immoral, right? In my opinion, I am very against facial recognition. It's very abusable tool, and I don't like it. Like, if there's facial recognition anywhere and you're putting yourself at risk, cover your face. Like, oh, you're at a protest and the Met Police have got that big black van with a massive camera on it. They use the facial recognition. Cover your face, by the way. Yeah, fuck facial recognition.
I will say this though, get that fucking
You must hate Windows. Hello.
trying to do
I
that
do
on the
hate Windows
bus.
Hello.
Not easy. I wouldn't know, but I've seen people get caught, and it's quite amusing.
The reason I hate Windows Hello, Phelan, they won't let me use my Google security key to log into Windows because they don't like it.
There's
'cause
many
they're
reasons
petty.
to hate Windows.
Windows
yeah,
Hello.
that's-
I've never had issues with Windows Hello. God, everybody's having issues with Windows Hello.
No, it's
What the fuck is Windows
it's
Hello?
their login system. So you can use, if your device allows it, fingerprint or face one, facial recognition. Don't know why I
Oh.
said face one.
Yeah, I just use my fingerprint.
Obviously, facial recognition will be in the slightly older Microsoft. I'm not sure about.
That was actually something I forgot. iPhones went straight to
Okay.
facial recognition. They never did in-screen fingerprints. As soon as I got rid of that
Fuck
button, it
in-screen
went
fingerprints.
straight to
Yeah.
I prefer ultrasonic fingerprint scanners over the camera ones. They just seem to be a bit more consistent and faster from what I've seen. But it's definitely getting better.
Yeah, but I don't give a shit. Just put a fingerprint on the middle back of your phone so you can pick it up and always put your finger
No.
there and it's always unlocked.
No, actually,
Oh, this is a good. Yeah. Go on. Where's the best spot? I think.
no. There's a phone.
I think on the back's solid.
On the back's all right. I never. Okay. So from my experience, I've never had a phone with a fingerprint scanner on the back. The only phones I've ever had are in
You've never
screen,
lived.
and on the side. On the side was nice because that's always where you have fingers anyway, especially when you turn it
If
on.
it's on the lock button, it kind of sucks.
Oh, it was on the lock button. I never had an issue with it,
Oh.
but it was.
I'd argue they're
Annoying.
less reliable, although still like stupidly reliable enough. But also, it's more the issue like you pick up your phone wrong and your phone vibrates. It's like, oh yeah, you're locked out now because we couldn't recognize your fingerprint,
Yeah.
even though you weren't trying to unlock it.
The worst
That's
one.
my problem with side.
The worst one I've seen, and I've seen it on a couple phones. The only one I can think of at the top of my head would be a Samsung. I want to say Galaxy. They put it next to the camera, right at the top of the phone. Now that is a really awful
no.
position to put a fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
I think we can
Um,
all agree on that.
Let me
Yeah.
get out my phone because I think
The thing is, I think in fingerprint scanners, they work fast enough these days, modern ones at least, that it's not
Yeah, so in
too
private
bad.
chat, this is my phone, and where my fingerprint scanner is, middle of the back.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's the same as most
Yeah,
of them that
gotcha.
have it on the back.
It's like the problem
Okay.
I have with in-screen fingerprint scanners isn't are they unreliable because of screen or are they too slow because of screen or all of the shit that people talk about. It's just a bad location. If I'm pulling my phone out of my pocket, it's awkward for me to put my finger against that scanner. Like really fucking awkward. If I'm putting my phone off my desk, it's awkward for me to put that finger on that scanner. Like it's just annoying. Like
So
I know in phone reviews, one of the things that like I know phone channels have said before is like with a back fingerprint scanner, when you pick your phone up off the desk to unlock it, you have to pick it up and put your finger underneath and then lock on it, and that takes a bit of time. But with an in-screen fingerprint sensor, you could just put your finger on your screen and unlock it. And I'm like, but when do you need to unlock your phone while it's still flat against the desk left there? Like literally never, ever in my life. If I need my phone, I'm picking it up. At which point, in the process of picking up, my finger hits the back, it unlocks the phone, turns my screen on, and I have to use it. No power button, no nothing. It's just simples.
yeah, that's fair. I think they both have their benefits and cons. I think it's just preference. As mentioned, I've never had one that's had it on the back. I've only had side and front. I just want to show you this. This is the Samsung S8, and this is where the fingerprint scanner was. Who in their right mind designed that?
That was pain.
Yeah.
It's right.
Not only
next
is it
to
in
the
a
camera,
weird
that's
spot, but
nasty.
smudge up the camera. Like I know it's
Yeah,
a minor
I
thing,
hope it
but
has
it's just
that
a
feature that
stupid place.
a few of mine have had where you can take a photo by like double tapping the fingerprint sensor. It's like a really optimal location for that gesture.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I think it's just personal preference. Yeah. Like I if I was to get one that's got it on the back, I'll just have. It will take me a little bit of getting used to because I've never had one. But I'll probably agree with you. It's a good spot to have it. That they're all good spots to have it. There's some like that outliers that are just shockingly bad, but most of them have the same design where it's either in the same or similar spot on the front of the screen or in the similar spot on the back, and that's obviously designed like that because it fits the percentile of people's hand range or where their thumb's going to be or their index finger's going to be. Um, they it's nothing to really like fingerprint scanners. There's nothing to revel about now. It's a nice feature that I think all phones should have personally. Because it's just like as Alfie said, it's just an extra security feature when paying for stuff wirelessly. Using NFC. So yeah, but I don't know.
Bluetooth payment.
What would you? Takes you 15 years. What would you like to see on the? Like, is there something you think phones are really, really missing?
Nothing the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra doesn't have. If I'm gonna.
Actually, well, actually, no. Genuine questions. I don't know if I've discussed about this.
Battery. Oh god, yeah.
What do we all think about headphone jacks disappearing?
At
We've
first
definitely
I
discussed
cared.
this.
Yeah, at first I cared. I don't anymore.
Okay.
I do.
I care significantly. I
Same.
to this day would not buy a phone without a headphone jack.
Same news.
Good luck in 10 years.
I don't want a
But
fucking
there's a reason I haven't
dongle.
bought a new phone in 6 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to carry a dongle everywhere I go.
Here's the thing, right? Do I care so much about using a headset with my phone and having to plug it in? Honestly, no, right? Because I use a Bluetooth headset on my phone as it is now anyway. I think Bluetooth is fine for phones because in general the latency and other issues with like signal interruption you can get, and like it doesn't matter. It's a phone. I'm just using it to like listen to music, and it is more comfortable to me than having a wire. If you're using earbuds, like wired earbuds, I don't see particularly inconvenient to me. Some people prefer the wireless, but they're just not worth the price for me, in my opinion. But also fuck earbuds. I hate earbuds anyway. But here's the thing: I have decent audio setups at home. I plug my phone into that so that I can listen to my phone through my headset. That requires an audio jack. I don't want to have a USB-C adapter to an audio jack or fucking Bluetooth into a fucking mixer. That'd be disgusting, right? Like, just no. Like, just give me an audio jack. It's useful.
So I've had this phone for 2 years and I've gone through 3 dongles because they either just don't work or break. I do miss it, but then again, I don't like. I've had enough Bluetooth headphones that I don't worry about it too much. If I could get a phone that fits everything else in my needs and has a headphone jack, that is a great bonus. But I don't think it should be a bonus. It's one of those ones where it shouldn't have disappeared. And I think what really annoys me and annoys a lot of people is when the developer says, "Oh, we didn't have room for it." What do you
It's cutting
mean?
manufacturing costs, right? It's
It's
cutting
literally
costs,
pennies.
and they're literally charging so much more for it.
Yeah, honestly,
Pennies.
Like,
the
phone
idea of a
prices
dongle
have gone
doesn't
up
bother
like
me too
so
much.
much in the last 10 years. Because what's the latest iPhone going for now? What number are
Oh,
they
okay.
just
No,
fucking
no, no.
on?
You can't say phone prices are going up, skyrocketing, and then compare them to iPhones.
No. Okay, what's the latest Samsung phone, man?
S21,
Yeah.
which I think
Yeah,
retails
the
for
last
about
prices are absolutely going
1600.
up.
Yeah, no, they definitely
Exact
are.
60. Exact. 1 second. Samsung. Yeah. Let's go to their
S21
website.
retailing for about
1,000.
1200, the top
If
of the
you want,
range.
yeah, you want top range. Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
No,
1300.
1300, right? That is so expensive if you think about it. 36 quid a month on just a phone.
How much was it? 1,200.
What for the top of the range? 16 gigs of RAM, half a terabyte, 1300.
If you trade in your old phone, right, you get about half your old phone's worth of value if you trade it in.
Hmm.
Which, like, oh.
I mean, yeah, that's just an absurd price.
That's one of the things
I think
actually.
that the second car I remember our family buying when I was a kid cost us £280, which to be fair was a steal, but I mean it wasn't. It broke like so often. But yeah, like good god.
I think one of the other things that's kind of annoying me,
No, no.
other than headphone jacks, other than headphone jacks
The
disappearing,
icon moved for some reason.
is
I don't think they even
phones,
noticed.
like phone companies up in the price because they've added 5G compatibility, but then they don't give you the option to not have a 5G phone. So they're making you pay more money for a feature you'll probably never use, or won't come into, come into full accessibility for a long time, but it ups the price no matter what. And Samsung is one of those biggest problems. Is the newest Samsung you can only get in a 5G variant, which adds like another £100 to £200 on it, even though it shouldn't, but it does. That's the problem, I think, because 5G cool, but there's only like 4 places that have it properly. I know,
Yes.
but still, it's not like worldwide.
It's a lot more distributed countrywide across America. Still absolutely to population centers, but it is in like most of their major population centers, whereas here it's not in most of our major population centers.
Is
That's
that
also because we're tiny and have like no major population centers.
the full bandwidth one as well?
It
This is-
depends on the city.
Yeah, there's 2. Is it bandwidth? Yes. But no, yeah, that's one of the other things. Like, I know for a fact when I get my new phone, I won't be upgrading that for probably 4 to 5 years. Don't need. Gets broken
I'll be keeping
significantly.
an eye on Xiaomi products. Gotta make
Fair.
sure I'm up to date there.
I'm pretty consistent. I know what phone I want to get, but at the same time, I keep seeing a Google Pixel or OnePlus. I'm like, do I? So it's one of those annoying things. Where,
Yeah.
what do I do? Deals. But no,
I hate mobiles.
yeah, there's too many of them. Obviously, it's the same with cars. Everything they just bring out a new version, slightly different. That's what the customer wants. What the customer's gonna buy. So.
I think going back to like the stuff, I think on phones, the thing that I'd want is bigger camera sensors. Honestly,
Okay.
like I don't use my camera like that much on my phone. There's numerous reasons. Like I'm just not that interested in taking pictures. But I'd like for when I do for it to not be like phone. It's 108 megapixels on the modern phones for sure, but it's like 108 phone megapixels. It's using a crappy little sensor. So
Actually, now that someone brought it up, I only know one person in real life that's actually got a Pixel, and I only know 2 people, friends-wise, that have Pixels. Like, I only know one person that has a OnePlus. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's very, yeah, because everybody I know either have an iPhone or a Samsung. Those
Yeah.
are the only two phones I know people have.
It's Phelan looking at his Xiaomi knockoff.
Xiaomi.
Who would knock off Xiaomi? Bastards.
Who would knock off a phone? You can
Humidity.
balance the actual camera unit on the whole phone on its camera unit.
Yeah. Certainly, I didn't even be able to think of the way, like, until I saw it. I think possibly either in a review, either way, someone else brought it up. I was like, oh yeah, the balance of that's going to be really top heavy.
Oh yeah, that's what I saw. A lot of people saying it's going to be top heavy as shit.
But also at the same time, when I hold my phone, there is like, that doesn't matter. Like, I could see why it would be slightly less comfortable, perhaps, but it's not going to fall unless I'm being an idiot.
Do we
And
want?
I hold my phone not like an idiot.
Do we want phones to be heavier or lighter?
I don't give a shit. Like I said, this was to you.
I
I
just
said
don't
this.
care.
Like my phone's considered heavy, and it's like 220 grams or something. It's not heavy, and reviewers were like, "Oh, it's a heavy phone. You can hold it. You could hold it outstretched in your arm if you wanted to. For some reason, for multiple minutes, like for upwards of 30 minutes at a time.
How much?
It's not a problem. Saving 50 grams on a phone, just it doesn't matter.
Only time that matters is if you're in bed, you're holding it upwards, and then somehow you end up dropping it and it falls on
Who
your
does
face.
that
It's only
anyway?
time
You say
it matters.
no.
Me,
You say
that's happened
somehow.
about 4
It
times.
inevitably happens. Yep, every human on Earth has been hit in the face by their phone in bed.
Yeah. And I would also say, I personally, this might be a hot
Let's go.
take, right? I'm
Okay.
sure
Oh, hot
physics
takes, love
professors
them.
are going to get angry about this. But I think there's not going to be much difference between a 100-gram phone and a 250-gram phone hitting your face in that situation. Because it's more about the
Ooh.
angle it hits you and where
Oh,
than
that's
it is like
true.
the
Yeah.
actual
Like
acceleration and weight.
If you got
Yeah,
the new
it is,
Xiaomi,
but weight does make a difference.
if the no.
Okay.
Alfie is right. 2 questions. How much did you say your phone weighs?
I think it's around 200. I'll get the exact.
Yeah, get the exact number. I'm
What
interested.
screen size does it have? Do you know?
6-8 inches, 6-7 inches. I
Okay, I
suppose.
didn't realize it was that big. So mine's only 210.
Yeah, I like a
so-
semi decent
No,
screen.
I-
214.5 grams.
Oh,
if
mine's
we're
2.
being,
Okay, that's not that much in my opinion. Yeah. Because
Mine's
mine's
about 190
mine's
with the case and
210.
stuff on it.
I completely agree with Alfie on this. It doesn't matter how much your phone weighs. Now, the reason that is, you've got a nicely balanced phone, let's say like the Oppo Reno 10 times, the phone I currently own, that's probably going to fall on your face flat because it's well balanced and it's a flat design. However, if you're using the new Xiaomi, because it's top heavy, if you
the Mi
drop
11
it,
Ultra specifically,
it's going to
let's be clear.
fall. It's going to fall
Mm.
camera first, and it's going to slice your head off.
No,
So,
here's where you're wrong. See, it's going to get pulled down by the weight of that heavy, bulky camera module, right? That's
Mhm.
going to start it rotating. It's going to start spinning. That's going to give it acceleration. And it's going to
Right.
move away from your head and land on your pillow next to you. And then the screen will light up and
Ah.
say, "Good night, Phelan."
Oh my
In
god,
like a
you're
more Chinese
right.
text-to-speech.
You are exactly right.
Kerbal Space Program has taught me so much about phone falling dynamics.
I know, it's beautiful.
Look
There's
at
that
this.
slight
Xiaomi 11
chance.
Mi Ultra, $1,000. I'd fucking
Thing is, there's that,
consider it if
there's
I
that-
had loads of money to waste.
there's that slight chance if you drop it by accident, it could start accelerating, rotating that weight off
Yeah.
balance, and it could start spinning infinitely, create an energy force.
Exactly. Xiaomi are giving us infinite
Yeah.
energy. Praise Xiaomi. Here's a thing about phones, actually, that I just remembered because I was looking at reviews for the Mi 11 Ultra, and people saying the selfie screen is gimmicky. Here's my response: get rid of selfie cameras. Just keep the
Hell yes.
higher, like
You and
the
me agree
bigger
on this, and I'm
sensor,
fucking
bigger
glad.
pixels. Yeah, just keep the better cameras and just like have a way of using them at least comfortably. Like you can use them without like a selfie screen, but it would be so much nicer to have a tiny little selfie screen just to see if you're in shot rather than having a
I mean,
crappy
nah,
selfie camera.
Even my
that's
hot take on this is you don't need a camera on the back camera just for selfies. You can just take a selfie by looking at the camera lens and then seeing how it goes.
I
Actually,
agree, but I just rather get it
I
right first
slightly
time. But
disagree
it's
with
not a
that,
major deal.
Because, like,
I'll give you
you're
that.
gonna have to take a picture between 2 to 5 times because you might not be in
Yeah.
shot properly or something like that. It might be the wrong angle.
Yeah.
so what
Especially if you're trying to get you and something else in the frame, I suppose. But
so
yes.
you're probably aware of this phone, but what do you think? Oh, give me a moment. So there's a Samsung phone that uses its back camera as its selfie camera, and
Yeah.
Not the fold.
no, so
The folds do have a good way of doing it, though.
that uses its rear camera as its selfie
I
camera.
don't know how work has a fold.
Um,
That's what minimum wage Poundland.
Wait, so is that entire?
so the
No, wait.
entire so
Am I-
it basically the back cameras, the entire like top unit, like it gets moved up and those cameras flip forward.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes more sense.
So
then,
like, do
yeah.
you mean something like
I
that then?
think-
So like, you don't need a selfie camera, you just
I-
somehow get
yeah,
those
I
back
feel like
cameras to
that's
work.
a mechanically complicated way of doing it, and I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of pop-up cameras
Points of
or like
failure.
pop-up. Yeah, exactly.
That's my favorite show.
But hey, it's definitely better than like having a designated selfie camera.
Okay.
Also allows for like more screen real estate if you want to get rid of
Yeah,
that.
I guess I understand your point of view on curved screens, like
Oh my
slightly
god,
curved
from
screens.
curved screens, let's get rid of them. Why are people still doing it? And it's on the top end phones as well. You pay extra for it.
yeah,
My
You
favorite.
want the
Phelan?
cool
I
extra
agree.
features, you pay for the crappy curved screen.
I agree.
You want to be able to not hold your phone properly? Good, pay extra.
Right? Do you know what's even worse? Curved monitors, unless they're ultra wide, where it's acceptable. But I'm not talking about those because it makes sense when they be curved.
Yeah,
Normal 16:9 standard curve. Like why? Fuck you.
yeah.
Viewing angles. Actually, is there? Oh yeah, there is. I'm not going to ask that
Yes.
question.
Viewing angles. We'll move the sides of the monitor further in so that you have less angles from the side to see your monitor. It's
So
now physically obscured, let alone color washed.
the one thing I think would be the most annoying thing. I think it was Logitech that did it. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a phone that has curved screens. Uses the curve of that
What?
screen, the touch of it for
No, they
like-
didn't.
like-
No, I
like it has
refuse to
like
believe
something
it.
called squeeze functionality. Basically, it detects when your fingers are on the side of the screen, and it will, be like extra button presses or shortcuts, etc. I want to say it was Logitech. I will find it. But that seems like the most annoying one because that's them actively using the side, like the curved screen, to do something which then can become annoying. Actually, that's it. Huawei did a phone where it had, it didn't have physical buttons. They were all touch-sensitive buttons, which,
Ooh.
no, I like to have physical buttons on my phone.
Yeah,
Especially
two
as
of
a
my
power
monitors
button.
don't have physical buttons, and it kind of sucks. That's my least favorite thing about them both.
Yeah.
Wait, they have nipples?
No, they have capacitive buttons, which
Oh,
is
yeah, no, that's
yeah.
just awful. That is
Yep.
just awful. I'm sorry for you. Jesus.
It's worth it. I bear with it, but it's very annoying.
No, it's
No,
the
but
silliest thing I've ever seen. Is what's the point of? Again, I think it's just personal preference. If you use a phone and you like it has curved a screen because you're used to it, go right ahead. I'm not going to question you. But
I am.
if you're not it's just about getting used to it. I much prefer phones with as little of a notch as possible, or like an edge to it. Personally, I think it just looks nicer. But yeah, no, actually, battery life is great. Fitness tracking tool. I guess because
Yeah.
it's a second-hand feature. Facial recognition.
This is going to be a hot take on this. Okay, so I'm just going to read out this chart. This is a chart. The source is Morning Consult. It's a survey of about 2,000 smartphone owners in the US, November 2018. It says what
Very good.
smartphone buyers really want. Number one is battery life at 95. Second, 93% ease of use, 90% storage, 88% durability, 86% camera quality. Life, I think that's just no one can really argue against anyone wanting that. Like, obviously, everyone would take better battery life if it was possible without like some compromise. That's just not obvious, right? Ease of use, yeah, like you don't want to have to like go through a 14-page, terms of service agreement to use your cat. Oh god, storage. This one, I actually think is completely massively overinflated. The reason I think storage is massively overinflated on what smartphone buyers really want is because people often don't buy expensive phones because most everyday people don't buy the top spec of phones that release, right? In reality, as much as it might seem if you're in tech circles. And the thing is, normally upgraded storage capacity comes hand in hand with the upgraded spec models, where it's just immediately out of price range. Some old phone companies, I can't remember exactly who, I think OnePlus did this at one point, and I think a couple of us have, used to do it where you could get upgraded storage on your phone separate to upgrading the specs. And that was awesome, because you could just get like the low
Yeah,
spec phone with
absolutely.
like a 256 gig SSD on it if you wanted. And that's just not a thing anymore. So I think people are only asking for as much more storage, and they should definitely be getting more storage. But they're only asking that as much as they are because people can't afford the high-end phones where you have to go to get high storage.
Yep.
Yeah, external storage should be a thing which almost everyone like. How much
No,
does it
external storage
cost
shouldn't
to?
exist.
No,
Why
no, no.
not?
How much does it cost to put in a micro SD?
No, I'm
It just
genuinely.
shouldn't exist. Who wants a slow-ass external storage? Just put a big SSD in your
No, no,
phone.
no, 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 no.
It gives
I don't
people
care about
options.
that. Yeah, gives people options. You can buy the cheaper version, put your own slower storage, because I don't care how if it takes my songs an extra 5 minutes to transfer or an extra 1 second to play between each song.
Terrible.
I think it's nice to have the
Slow for
option.
apps, bad for photos. It's just bad. Just put a good SSD in your phone. SSDs are cheap. NAND flash is like the cheapest it's been in like years. Just get a phone with a good size storage and make it cheap, like at phone companies. Like I unironically think if you took like the low end version of like a modern Galaxy, right? Or probably even not a Galaxy because even those are just like the low end ones are high end. But if you took like a standard like OnePlus mid range phone, right? And you got rid of all of the high end features that like you just didn't need that would be on like the top spec things that they might include in like their upper end phones, and just put all of that like money into getting it like a 256 gig SSD, you would have a lot of money spare and you could still sell that phone for a very reasonable price.
What would you say?
Like if I can get a 1 terabyte fucking SSD in my phone for £100 retail, and I can get like a slower one for £90 to £80 retail, right? When you're these companies like Samsung who make NAND flash themselves, they can source it internally. You can
Yep.
absolutely get 250 gigs in a phone for like an incredibly cheap price.
What would you say the minimum should be for phone storage?
For a modern phone, if I'm pricing a phone at like £300-400, I think it should be 128. If it's anything closer to like 500-600, 256.
Okay.
If you're on like a
Yeah.
small phone, I think you can probably like a real cheap phone, like £100 phone or something. Yeah, you can probably get away with having like 64. Because at that point, you're compromising on so much other stuff as well.
Yeah.
You may as well just make it like a budget option.
However, I
Yeah, like
feel.
just put fucking SSDs in your phones, please.
I think.
Yeah.
I think personally, I feel. It should. Most phones should go the Sony route and have a minimum of a 4K 120 Hz screen in them, because otherwise, what's the point of having a phone?
What a transition to the Sony Xperia 1 3.
Oh my
If
god!
I
Don't even
remember
get started on
correctly.
their naming convention. It's the fucking.
It is
worst.
120 hertz. Sorry, I thought it was 144. No, it's 120.
Genuinely.
I mean, it's.
Fun fact: I'm pretty sure my dad owned that exact phone with that exact same name
Oh no,
in
no, because no,
2006 because Sony have probably named 7 phones before it, something
'cause
like that.
I used to have a
Yeah.
Sony which was the XZ1. Then they brought out the XZ2 and then the XZ3, and I think they went to the
I had the
XZ4.
XA2.
Then they had the XA series. Then they had the X series. Had the Z series. Now they have the L11 series. Now they have the 1 series. Which I don't
Yeah,
know
there's a-
what any of them are relative to. I know the ZX series when I had them were like their premium flagship phones.
Mm.
But I don't know, like, and then their XA series was their cheaper take on the flagships. But I don't know what the 1 is. I'm assuming it's their new flagship phones. They've got the L series, which is the professional phones. Yeah, I don't know. Naming conventions is just the most annoying thing in the world. I feel like OnePlus know what they're doing. Just name it the next phone in the series. Let's forget about
Well, let's
the
ignore the
Nord and
Nords.
all that. Yeah, and what was the one before the Nord?
I don't know.
The one with the transparent changing glass on the camera at the back. I can't remember.
No idea.
And then I guess iPhone have to have a reward for that. They know how to somewhat name their phones. So I feel like at some point they should, like, when do you stop naming your phones in a series? Because they're currently at what, at 10? They're at 12, sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll go 13 because that's an unlucky number. Do they go away from the superstition, or do they not
specs suck.
give a shit? So I think it's nice to have
But, like,
options.
on the topic of what I was saying for like phone storage, right? A good example is the OnePlus Nord, right? So you get 120. This is the low end model, right? 8 gigs of RAM,
Mm.
already good for most phones because OnePlus have always put a lot of RAM in their phones because they have a very RAM hungry OS. 108 gigs of storage. It's cost £329. You get a 90 hertz display. You get a quad camera module, which the cameras aren't going to be great. You get Snapdragon 765G, which is 5G compatible. Like, yeah, like that's not the best processor you could put in a phone. Like, don't get me wrong, but it's like at that point you're getting like 100 gigs storage, 8 gigs of RAM, a 4200 milliamp hour battery, a good processor that will unless you're planning to like do heavy gaming on your phone, at which point like I don't know, you're just weird in my books anyway. Like that's such a good thing, right? You're getting like a glass case, a glass like structure to the phone. Sorry, like like
Yeah.
physically it is good. You still got Gorilla Glass. Like you're not sacrificing on like scratching or anything. Like you're still at a decent resolution. Like for 300 quid you can get a really goddamn good phone these days.
100%. Easily. Really good phone for £350, £400. I feel like that market of 700 plus is literally just for people who want to spend. Sorry, pardon me. Want to spend that money on a phone. You're getting
Yeah.
benefits that won't help you in day-to-day life with a phone. You're not getting extreme. You're not going to cure diseases with that phone. It's
The price
just
goes
slightly
up
better.
£90 to get to the 12 gig and 256 gig model as well. So that helps put in spec how cheaply, that's with retail markup on it, how cheaply like OnePlus can add in an extra 4 gig and add in an extra 120 gig of storage, right? Like it's
Yeah.
£90 of retail to them. It's probably like £40, £30 actual cost to them.
It
Like
is.
I imagine their markup's pretty big.
OnePlus is one of those good companies. Like they're not the best at the moment. Like they're getting a little bit further away from it, unfortunately. But
I wouldn't call them good anymore.
they're still a great company when it comes to affordability for their phones. They don't
They're
do
better than the others.
stupid markups. Yeah. I feel like iPhone are doing it a bit more, kind of like companies like Samsung, Sony, and Logitech. Not Logitech. I don't know if they make phones. They may do. LG. That's it. The fact they give customers options is nice. Obviously, some of them are a bit more scummy than others. Let's not start with fucking Samsung's recent kerfuffle with putting different CPUs, CPU, yeah, into where their phones sold between America and Europe. Let's just forget about that. Dick move, but hey ho, what you gonna do? But it's nice to have options. I feel, if you want a cheaper phone, or just get a second-hand one, I guess. Just don't go iPhone unless you really, really, really want the infrastructure. Don't go an iPhone because you will be spending more money
Yeah.
than you want to.
I think a lot of people buy into Apple because they kind of have to. And I think that comes in two facets. There's the professional end of that, where someone uses a Mac because they particularly edit, they edit their YouTube content or their um, whatever they're making in Final Cut, right? They're just used to that ecosystem. They prefer it to Premiere and DaVinci, so whatever, they have a Mac, and it's just easier for them to use a phone for the integration with that, like iPhone because the integration with that, like fair enough, right?
Hmm.
But it also happens on the lower end where like a lot of like young people, their friends have got iPhones already, which means to speak to them they want to use iMessage, which means to do that they kind of need to buy an iPhone, and you end up in this cycle. Like I know multiple family members that have bought iPhones, regularly because it's just what they had to use to communicate to their phone, and it eventually got to the point where they got so annoyed with them they are actually buying an Android now. But it's just like, yeah, I think a lot of people are just sort of are pulled into the Apple ecosystem. Nonetheless, if you are choosing to go into the Apple ecosystem, but like knowing like the compromise that it is more expensive generally and stuff, like the Apple ecosystem is really, really good in a lot of ways. And I think they don't necessarily get credited enough for how smooth some of the interactions can be between like an iPhone, a MacBook Pro, a Mac computer itself, right? Like it is a
Hmm.
very tightly knit ecosystem. And I think that has like those benefits as well. Like you can be very used to that ecosystem, and even though if you're spending more, if you're willing to do that for that ecosystem and it helps you, fair enough. But it also has a lot of negatives. Like I know people I follow on Twitter, a couple of web developers that I follow, do a few extensions and stuff like that. One of them uses a Mac, and obviously when you buy a normal Mac, right? And I'm not talking like a Mac Pro, cheese grater. I'm talking like a big bulky Mac fucker.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Those things are not designed to have second screens, although can. And they have this very weird bug quite often where they move their mouse to the edge of one monitor and a second mouse cursor appears on the second monitor while their original one is still on the first. And there's loads of like edge case issues like that in macOS where it's like it's just not designed for these things because they've immediately strayed outside the Apple ecosystem. They didn't get the Mac that's meant to have multiple monitors, right? They got the Mac that's not really meant to have them, but it can, and it just immediately has bugs. So there's like issues with the Apple ecosystem in that sense as well. That if you stray outside of it, it can get quite sort of a messy and buggy in places and annoying to work with. But at the same time, I absolutely do think like Apple don't get credit enough for creating a consistent ecosystem. I don't like most Apple products, but there's no denying that they have like a very smooth user experience across all of their products that are similar in like the overall style. Like I don't like not being able to move icons on my iPhone. It's just stupid. Like really stupid. Like absurdly stupid. It's completely pointless and it achieves nothing.
Don't get me
But
wrong.
it's there's plenty of other nice stuff that they have and like the touch press and stuff.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Apple is
Yeah.
not good by far. They do so much shitty stuff with their products.
And
But
that's the end of that statement.
yeah, but the actual Mac OS is really sleek, well designed in my opinion, and it's nice to use. It's not customizable and it's not like Windows, but it's nice to use on a user basis. It's accessible. Same with iOS, but it's not something I would willingly want to change over to and waste my money. Because there's just someone getting called. So many different issues that come with being an Apple owner. It depends. I guess it depends on your use case, but I certainly won't be changing anytime soon. But it's I think phones are. I think there's too many options at times. Like there's so much to pick from, and there's that there a lot of them are all the exact same. It's just depending on what OS you want to use, more or less. I feel like obviously they've all got different features, but I've been looking for a new phone, and the only reason I've stuck with one because it has one feature that none of the others have. The reason I want to go to the others is because they have better OS, or a certain other thing that this one might not have. It's one of those really annoying ones where you still have to make sacrifices to get a good phone that you want to use.
Yeah. For
Am I
me, I would always want Android on a phone. PC wise, though, I totally agree. Like my
you
ideal
want Android
PC
on your
would
PC?
no, like for my phone, I don't ever see a reason why I'd want iOS. Really, like it's just a shitter version of every other phone operating system. It's missing a bunch of features that every other phone operating system has. Nonetheless, um, like for PC, I absolutely see situations where Windows is just beneficial to me, right? But Windows is fucking awful and also full of so many fucking issues and has caused me so much grief over the years of using it that it's
Yeah.
fucking infuriating how bad it is for a fucking like a £200 product at this point. That it's like I'd just much rather have access to a system where I can triple boot like Mac OS, a Linux distro of my choice, and Windows. Like that would be the ideal world. Because Mac OS is like really smooth, really clean, great for like doing a lot of development work. Linux is also pretty good for doing development work, but also most of everything is very highly customizable. It's very flexible to how you want to do it right. You can use different desktop managers and stuff and all that sort of thing. And Windows is just there for like the ease of use and compatibility with a lot of apps that are only on Windows. But like, God, it is potentially annoying to do that. Like
Yep.
Windows has broken my boot partitions and stuff before, just because it decides to when I've tried to dual boot, and it's like thanks Windows, just because it decides to when I've tried to.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. It's hard to say at the moment. What makes what you're like I think like if you were to sit someone down and say this is the phone you should get, very hard because it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Just basically what we should do is just get rid of all the phones and just make two, Android and an iPhone. There you go. That's all the phones you need.
Yeah. But we need it to be 4K 120 hertz.
Yeah, and maybe put Xiaomi in there so you can have overweight
Oh, yeah.
uh phones that spy on you. That's why there's so many cameras in there.
And high quality ones.
Yeah, so they can see you across the room.
Exactly. You know, when you talk about making phones, what do you think about perhaps not making your own phone, but customizing it, like all those failed modular phone designs?
I was really excited for the Google modular phone, and it died. I really like the idea of that. It doesn't
Shout
all
out to
have to
Killed by
be.
Google on Twitter.
Yeah, it doesn't all have to be modular, but like having the ability to maybe like if you start off with your normal default phone, let's say it's got a 12 megapixel camera and a 4,000 milliamp battery. Let's just the ability to then spend like an extra £100 of your own money to get like a 20 megapixel camera or to add an extra module onto that. Just nice. I can see why it failed because it is very hard to do in a way that's user friendly and it's simple. A phone I seen recently, again thanks to Joey Riggs, everything. I love watching his content. There's a phone I can't for the life of me put the brand name. I want to say it's Fox or something like that. They made a phone where it basically it's modular inside to the point where you can repair it yourself. You just buy the units off Amazon. So like the battery, the camera, the sensors, the speaker and all that. So you don't have to if the camera was to go, which is very unlikely, but if the camera was to go, you can just buy the unit, take it apart with a few screws and put it back together and you fixed it. Which is nice. I think that sort of modularity is nice. You know, the ability to be able to repair your phone because it's got a modular design that allows you to take parts out and put them back together without complicated wiring and 6 or 7 screws that were all connected with fucking ribbon cables. You know, it's one of those nice things. Don't even get me. I know we were talking about Apple, but don't even get me started. Apple charging you £600 to repair the back glass on their phone is fucking ridiculous.
I've not heard about that.
Yeah, if wait, no, let me.
Sounds very much like them.
Let me find out.
Are we talking about the Rossmann right to repair shit now?
Yeah, actually, that's a thing. Is that
It should
come
be.
in yet, or is that still in the works?
He's funding for it and all that stuff.
Okay, so I saw that was going to be a supposed law. I don't know. I didn't read into it, but I was just like, that's cool. Hopefully, if it gets somewhere, that actually
Yeah,
helps
there's
the
stuff to
community,
do with
but
like legislation and all of that stuff. I've forgotten where it goes, but he is now actually getting funding to take it to some people or whatever, and like he is the leading head of it now, basically, even if
okay.
he doesn't want to be.
Hell yeah. Pretty good cause as well.
Absolutely. The only comment I'd make on like the hardware compatibility and repairability issue and stuff is it's very easy if you're not like aware of these things to just sort of think that like, oh, companies should do a better job with like this and that, and repair should be easier to do, and like being able to upgrade hardware or something like RAM could be cool on phones. Like modularity would be awesome. And a big solution to that is open sourcing hardware, patenting less stuff, having people able to look and research and produce, modules. Like even if you're like fully capitalist about it, right? Like open source your Samsung Galaxy hardware designs, and a bunch of third parties will make better camera modules that you can manufacture and install yourself. Companies will make tools that are make it easier to disassemble Galaxy phones, right? Like, you know, I wouldn't agree with it necessarily in that system personally, but it absolutely in any like economic system would be beneficial in my opinion. Like, you know, it just lets people do shit to their own phones and lets companies make their phones better. It's a way better idea than what it is currently.
It's 100%. So yeah, I was just looking at the Apple. This is the official pricing on Apple. They're looking for for a screen replace, if it's out of warranty, this is the latest 12, the 12 Pro Max, the most expensive phone, which I think goes for like 1,500. If you're out of warranty, a screen repair costs £316,
Oof.
which is pretty odd, 'cause I'm pretty sure you can take the screens out with 2 screws. It's like one of the better phones I've seen when it comes to taking the screen off. But if the same phone, if you're out of warranty for any other damage, which includes a broken back glass, £566. At that point, you might as well
Oh.
buy a new fucking phone.
I mean, even that first figure, I'd be
Question.
looking elsewhere in the market.
Oh, I don't think if you're going to Apple to do out of warranty screen repairs, you're stupid. Just go to a shop nearby if you have one, or there's plenty online. Like that will do it a shit ton cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit of a problem with Apple and local stores specifically.
Yeah, if you can find a local store that has parts and will do a repair of your phone,
Hmm.
and can do that, like, good for you. Like, I absolutely support them, but it is tough to do because of Apple.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience of having to repair an iPhone screen from a non-official Apple retailer because they would never be able to do one.
It's £25 if you have Apple Cover for all phones, a screen repair.
Right.
Which makes me wonder how much is their basically their warranty, their Apple Care. Because
I have no clue.
I'm gonna find out. Yeah, it's one of those weird ones where it's like, why would you want to spend that sort of stupid money to even go anywhere near that sort of worry? So Apple Care, only do it on one product at a time. No.
What?
Okay,
Wait,
so
really?
if you go to Apple Care, it asks you to choose a product to cover: Mac, iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch, and then the rest. Apple TV. Oh no, my Apple TV broke. A new one. They're cheaper than any fucking fixing them. Oh, do you have to actually like? Oh, okay, is there no like general price? Oh, please just give general price Apple. Just a general price would be.
I had a friend who, to be fair, wasn't exactly the most tech savvy, but they had problems with even just like data transfer between getting new Apple phones, because apparently Apple like really encourages you to do it through their ecosystem,
Yeah.
which you then needed like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a whole thing where it was feasible, kind of, but it wasn't realistic. I'm trying to find out exactly what that issue was now.
Yeah, I think the whole right to repair thing is something you should. I think it should. I know it's obviously we live in such a like a commercialized world and all, but the right to repair is just one of those things that I feel like should have come a lot earlier. We live in such a world where your phone can break so easily and it costs so much that people will just buy a new one and bin it.
I mean, consumer rights have been slowly getting
Better.
reduced over years. They've definitely not been getting better.
Like,
Returns have been getting harder to do. Repairing your own equipment and products is getting harder to do. Like, it's just been getting worse, and there's been a bit of a resurgence to fight back against that very recently.
So, what I see for the iPhone 12 Pro, which I said it was what £566 to repair for any like back scratch, or screen repair £300. It's £200. However, I can't see if there's any details saying if that's annually. I would have thought it's Apple. It's probably annually. But if it isn't, £200 isn't actually that bad. If you're someone who you know you're gonna break your phone, it's not. No, in Apple sense, it's okay. In normal sense, no. Fuck off. You shouldn't be paying any more to have cheap repairs or cheaper repairs, or at least reasonable repairs. Sorry. Fucking hell. Wait, Hermes making Apple Watch?
What?
I was just looking at the Apple Watch section, and there's the Apple Watch Hermes, Apple Watch Nike, Apple Watch, and then a different series. I didn't know there was a Hermes Apple Watch.
Oh, that's.
I'm gonna see this.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Oh, okay. It's okay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. It's spelled the same way as the Hermes brand we all know and love. But it's just a separate, different
I'm trying to
one.
think if I'm going insane. Is Hermes not a delivery company?
It is, but they've also got an Apple
Yeah.
Watch Hermes. But I think it's pronounced
Right.
differently because it has a accented E.
Hermes.
Hermes, yeah.
Hermes, yeah.
Or her.
It looks like a designer watch. Over the typical Apple Watch in love. So.
Right, I see.
Because they've also got the Nike, so I assume
We're
it's just
talking
a
about
brand.
the watch brand Hermes now. Okay, right now.
Wait,
I
that's a
understand.
watch brand? I've never heard of them.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, that's why I was so confused.
Like, explain it.
I don't know. The way you didn't sound surprised about that, or the way you sounded surprised about that. Sorry. It's like I was like, what are they like? Is it like Hermes the delivery
They
people?
are
Like,
far from a watch brand.
Oh god.
They make
we
literally. They
go.
make fucking stuff for your. You make garden.
do they?
Yeah, they do everything. And
Okay, I guess I'm
watches.
gonna look this up as well.
Like they do clothing. They do They do clothing. They do watches, obviously, which they might be the most famous for watches. Again, I've never heard of them. But they also do stuff like interior design and fragrances. I thought that said frame makeup. They do makeup. I want to see how much their lipstick costs. 56 quid. Yeah.
I've not found interior design going through that. Oh, there it is. Dumber. Yeah, several luxury. How do they describe
They're
themselves?
just a brand name.
Luxury goods. That's the term.
Yeah, I trade that in Elite sometimes.
Oh, I haven't actually played much of Elite Phase.
No. Yeah. Before you go that way,
Yeah.
there was something I wanted to circling back to a fair while ago. For those of you who are listening, those of you who remember the graph that was like of the smartphone features that people wanted,
Oh, yeah.
but me saying that in English instead.
Yeah.
The least wanted feature of 30% with it is anything, is a mother. I'm gonna get fucking Cleverbot up and just let her do it for me. The least wanted feature at 30%, which is higher than I thought it would be, is AR/VR tools. And I guess tools is a little bit vague, but it got me thinking. Back to my time when I used my phone as a VR headset. By that I mean, I used my phone inside a bit of plastic that acted as a headset. Honestly, phone VR should be more common. Looking around, absolutely no problems. Like, to be fair, it's a fairly modernish phone, I suppose. So you could say that the gyroscopes and like the software and whatever is going to be better than some older models. But the only real problem was you couldn't do spatial tracking. Well, you couldn't use them with gyroscopes because, as it turns out, these gyroscopes are awful for that sort of thing. Just fucking use the camera, though. Like, I really do think it's a large area that everyone has a fucking phone nowadays. Most people with a decent resolution. Mine it looked better than my old Oculus CV1. Get more into phone VR. I guess the only other main problem would be controllers. If you wanted to do like a full-on experience as opposed to like just sitting there in War Thunder or DCS. But
Okay.
we need to get phone VR to be more common.
I'm 50-50 about that.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't see what the point in any of that would be when you're still on like a very low power phone. Like what VR experiences are you gonna do? Like, oh, play this relatively low poly kind of shitty game that's
Well,
gonna
you
make
could
your phone
either
get really hot
you
quite
could either
fast
do like
and drain your battery very
the
fast.
Quest 2 way, which is just you can either do like low crappy ones that are made for that, or you
Yeah,
can
but
just
even the
stream from a
Quest 2,
PC.
like,
And
is gonna be better, and streaming from a PC with the latency is gonna be interesting.
It's not, no, because you just stream it over USB. Like, you don't have to do. I absolutely would not recommend Wi-Fi. It was workable
But
because
then
I
you've
was
got to
playing
have
War
like a
Thunder,
cable, and at that
but
point, you just
pure
get
was
like
awful.
a better headset.
No, because headsets now, like even the cheapest ones, are a few hundred. Is the Oculus Quest 2 is the most popular one currently? So they want $299
Okay,
for
right.
that
So get
alone,
a
and then
300
you
quid
need to
phone
get
and get a
extra.
Quest 2. Don't buy a 700 quid phone so that you can play VR because you don't have like a 5-year-old
No, but
processor and
everyone
you've got
has
more
a
than 2
phone.
gigs of RAM.
Like, just you
Some
already
people
have the
have
phone.
phones.
Most people have phones, like, especially compared to the amount of people that own
Not ones that are
a
going to be
VR
playing
headset.
the same quality stuff as like a Quest 2 though, like processor wise. Like my phone
Oh,
couldn't
absolutely.
keep up with a Quest 2, not even close.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what process. Like, obviously, the Quest 2 is going to
My
be
phone's a good
because
few
it's a
years old as
larger
well.
form
To be
factor.
fair,
What processor does the like? How far behind are we? But even then, just like even on the streaming front of things, and yes, that does then require your
then you've got to have a PC.
like your
It's like,
PC
yeah,
to be beefy.
it's just like just get a Quest
It's
2 at
such
that
an
point.
untapped
I
market.
mean, don't
No,
because fuck Facebook.
yeah,
But
because exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still fully into like just buying a proper VR headset. Like if you can afford it, and I think it's worth saving for.
Okay, hang on. So I'm looking at the Quest 2 specs from a table here. So I don't think they're wrong, but obviously there's the chance that they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
because I'll see if I can find. Okay,
that?
so apparently the Quest 2. Oh, that is per eye. Okay, hang on. So it's
eye.
1832 by 1920 per eye. So that's
More than your
Already
phone.
double what my phone would be.
hang on.
Well, roughly.
I think the biggest issue when it comes to VR with phone is just the resolution. That's why you need to get the new Sony one.
Oh my god, yeah. See again like that. Hey, it loops around. Oh, the new Xiaomi one. To be fair, like
That's-
it won't be 4K, but what's my? But like even.
I wonder how much
It definitely wasn't playable, but yeah, okay, so fair enough. You could possibly get a better resolution for the Quest, as like for the price, especially. I'll give it that. The refresh rate's weird. Like, didn't they recently say they were going to update it to like 144 hertz in selected titles with like a software update or
Yeah, I
something?
saw something about that, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like that's awesome for people who own it, but also, why wasn't that done before? I
Yeah.
don't know. It's always weird to me when VR headsets, and I've known like some Pimax ones to do it as well, like months or in the Quest 2 case, I think years. I don't know how long it's been out. Later, are like, oh yeah, now you can have a higher refresh rate. I don't know. It's odd to me, but
Yeah, I also know that I don't know if you saw, but Vive were teasing a new headset recently.
ooh, I
And
did
very early teasing, it was just like, here's a headset covered by a cloth in this photo that we tweeted. Isn't
Oh,
that
for God's
epic?
sake!
So it could just be like another like commercial Vive headset, but people are also obviously because it like in my opinion for their non-enterprise side of business, the most logical thing, right, is compared to the Quest 2. Like everyone would claim that.
Yeah.
So if Vive come out of a good compared to the Quest 2, and I
Yeah.
mean I hate to say it because in general I feel like Vive kind of make really shitty headsets. I'm just saying that. They don't have a great record, but if they do come out of a good compared to the Quest 2, with good compatibility, you can still plug into a PC like you can with the Oculus Link cable that costs 150 fucking pounds, 120 or whatever it is, for like a literal USB-C Thunderbolt
I say,
cable.
which is the other thing. There's like extra cost to the Quest 2 that doesn't need to be there. Like they hide it behind the original price. Which to me, that's how like these marketing things work. But it's still,
obviously,
yeah, it's not pleasant.
Definitely keep an eye out. Like if you want a standard VR headset, do see if this Vive headset that's been sort of teased for a while is going to be that, because it'd be really cool if it is, and it's good, which it probably won't be because Vive, but
They made a good headset. And they
Right.
worked with Valve.
the original Vive was okay, right? For its era, I think it was very decent. But VR headsets and VR as a space has come a long way since, and I would not call the Vive a good headset now.
Yeah, but how old is the Vive?
Years and years old. Because I don't get me wrong, I do agree with that. But also, like, just because the Vive itself is old, HTC/Vive have made like 10 headsets since.
Yeah, and they're
Many of which have stopped being sold almost immediately, because they were awful. like like they're just bad. Like you got the original Vive, that was okay for its time. Vive Pro, is okay. The Cosmos series, just no one cares. Like they've got their enterprise products, whatever. I can't speak from the enterprise end because I don't use them.
Good.
I don't know what a business wants, but like, they just kind of like, I don't know. If they come out with a standalone headset and it works well, and it doesn't have like selling your life away to Mark Zuckerberg,
Mm.
it could be good.
Fair.
Have a look. Now, battery capacity. So tracking uses internal camera. And again, I really think the phone could do that. Like the software I had didn't do that. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's like a planned update, but
I mean,
phone could
speaking
do
of having selfie cameras, maybe that is the answer. Maybe we should have selfie cameras. You've got a camera on each side of the phone.
that. Hmm.
But inside out
Do
tracking.
facial tracking.
Facial.
Yeah, you could get that.
I mean, there's loads of things you could use it for, but
Yeah, facial tracking on your eyes.
Battery capacity on my Quest 2, 2 to 3 hours.
That is.
On my phone, to be fair, yeah, on my phone, which is a fairly high milliamp hour battery, I reckon I could get more than that. But like so I've got a decent phone. Like, I'll be honest with you guys. I was looking up in the meantime whilst you were talking, like what the most common mobile screen resolution is. I regret doing it. It does not help my point. Apparently 18 point, and perhaps I am speaking from a privileged position to have this phone at all, let alone like a fairly decent one. 18.7% of people are, and that's the most common, a 360 by 640 display.
ooh,
So yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
perhaps there is a small issue that I think I perhaps
yeah, but
overestimated the decent
that's-
resolution of
is
people's
that a
phones.
sample data from worldwide?
Yes, that's worldwide. I've also got
Yeah.
US here.
I mean, like the people that are probably going to be buying VR headsets are going to probably have slightly better phones than
Yeah,
that.
they're not going to be
anyway.
using their
Oh, I-
Nokia.
I still do agree though that like my phone's resolution is like 20 something by 10 something right across the whole screen, which is like
Yeah.
one way the resolution I'd get on the Quest, the other way not. So like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the resolution's not that big a thing. I still stand by. I don't think resolution's actually that important in VR.
Oh no,
Um,
definitely not. I had one of those.
I would
If you go
disagree.
too low, it is, but going
Yeah.
past a certain point, it's just pointless. I
Oh,
know you
okay,
disagree, you
fair.
Pimax fuck.
For the first
I
Oh
time.
think
no, I
refresh
meant like
rate's
I
way better.
disagree for the fact that like I wouldn't want a 360p.
Oh no, yeah, like I wouldn't want
Seems
360,
great,
but
but
I mean
that's-
like going down like, oh sorry, going from like 1080 to like say we went from like a 1080 per
Okay.
eye roughly to like
Sure.
4K per eye. Like it's just pointless. Like in comparison to the
I-
benefit from not pointless, but it's for the price. It's not worth it in comparison to the benefit to the user
price is
experience
a
that you
good point.
get from like going to like a high refresh rate, right? Like playing on 144 hertz on my index is way more significant to me than like the difference in resolution between my actual phone in like phone VR and my index, right? Like it's don't get me wrong, it's
Yeah.
nicer. Like the resolution is definitely useful, but I personally think that the refresh rate is a better upgrade overall.
I would
I
agree.
think it's okay. I'd say it's. I think it's tougher. Like I'd potentially agree. Like when it comes to monitors, but when it comes to VR, especially because I used the Oculus CV1 for a while, being able to make out not even details, but like text in some instances was. Yeah, and that's always sort of been
Yeah.
like even with my Pimax headset, it's just it's so much better than the Oculus, like in every single way, and you'd hope so. But
Like I get where you're coming
I'd still
from
want
there.
more resolution.
But nonetheless, I'd also say for me, like my take on that, like reading text in VR games sucks, especially if you have
Yeah.
low resolution or you're in a slightly bad situation, or if you're me and have a bad eyesight in the fucking first place, it can be quite awkward to do. But at the same time, my hot take is that most VR games should not have text in them that you need to read this remotely important. Like it just shouldn't be a thing. If you have text for like a menu,
Yeah.
it should be big, very bold, very clear, use logos, very good accessibility. Other than that, don't put text in your video games. It's hard to read
Oh,
text in VR
True.
for the everyday populace, right? Like, so I'd say I'd rather have a higher refresh rate so I can enjoy things like Beat Saber at a higher refresh rate, and not have to worry about being able to read text, because text just shouldn't be in VR games to the extent that it can be in some of them.
I've not had as much experience like I have between monitors, like 60 versus 144 hertz, for example. With my headset, I've currently taken the compromise of I get a much higher field of view with no noticeable distortion for me at least, but I get a reduced frame rate from that. It seems weird. Like, in my experience, honestly, that frame rate drop hasn't been as noticeable as I thought it would be. And I don't know if that is just like how I'm
Yeah.
coping with things in VR. It's I'd be happy to test it if it wasn't. It's not a pain to go between resolutions and things, but it's sometimes like you need to relaunch the
smooth
game.
on the Pimax especially. I don't think it's particularly smooth in general. Frame
Okay.
rate, refresh rate on like Steam VR, like again, I don't know if the Pimax would let you do this because of its issues with FOV and stuff. I highly doubt it would, right? On like an index, for example, I can just literally, while playing Beat Saber, open up a menu and go, I'm 90 hertz now, and the screen will cut to black for like about 10 to 100 milliseconds, and I'm immediately back and I'm at 90 hertz. Like
Okay.
it's really smooth for me to change refresh rates even while in VR, like with no issue. Obviously, with the Pimax, there's the issue like FOV adjustment and stuff. So that's not something they could really implement, even if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Not easily anyway. Not into Steam VR itself. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's also down to your eyes. Like, I have quite FPS sensitive eyes, right?
Yes, true.
To the point where, for like video content, like if I'm watching a stream or a film or something, like obviously, like, how do I word this? Like the standard like 24, 25 FPS, I find very, very choppy. I think it looks bad. I hate watching movies and seeing drone shots. And it's like, cool, thanks for showing me this PowerPoint slideshow of Captain America farting on a cliff. Like that's epic. I'm so glad you showed me this. Because it just is like that to me. It fucking looks ugly as shit. Like the low frame rates you get on TV and movies just look really bad to me.
But Alfie,
Nonetheless,
the eye can only see it 24 frames a second.
shut up.
Oh god.
But nonetheless, right, I do have quite FPS sensitive eyes, right? If I'm playing a video, like if I'm watching YouTube content, whatever, like 30, 60 FPS, I can tell the difference between 30 and 60, but like neither look particularly bad. I'm kind of just used to watching video content at low frame rates.
Mm-mm.
But if I'm playing a video game, 60 FPS looks choppy to me, right? Like trying to aim at 60 FPS is choppy to me because I just got cursed with being quite sensitive to that, right? Like watching a video game at 144 hertz versus 60 is just really quite tough for me. I can really see the difference. So I noticed it quite a lot in a VR headset going from 90 to 144 and back. Nonetheless, though, I could absolutely see someone that doesn't notice that difference, right? Like, because that is like a very like individual thing from my experience speaking to people, right? Some people don't notice the frame rate anywhere near as much. So I can absolutely see for some people like the resolution would be more beneficial. But for me, like the difference in playing like Beat Saber at 90 and 144 hertz is night and day. I mean, it's insane. Like it's so much cleaner. It's so much easier to see everything moving.
And the other like thing that we vaguely touched on is field of view. Like I said, I've currently got mine maxed out, and I'm definitely much happier now that I've got a higher field of view.
Yeah.
It would be interesting, I think, if I could smoothly like go between all the different settings and figure out.
It would be really cool if they could implement
that. What would be like my most important factor, and by how much?
Yeah, I think for me, I would like to be in a situation where I could like use your Pimax as an example, right? Like, oh god, COVID, yada yada. Because I would like to try like the maximum FOV and get a feel for what that's like.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, like obviously I can't speak from experience of having like a Pimax level of FOV. The upgrade in FOV going from the Vive to the Index, where the Vive was decent enough, but the Index has the ability to move the lenses really close to your eyes, and you do get a pretty goddamn decent FOV in that thing. At least in comparison to what I have with the Vive. Like I can notice that, right? I run the Index of the lenses right up against my eyes because thankfully my glasses are not bulky enough to get in the way of them. And it is definitely better than what I had on the Vive, like visibility wise. Like FOV is a big thing. I just can't speak personally to how like going past what I already have would benefit me if I started to lose refresh rate, right? Like that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Although, again, maybe the solution is actually just being able to change it on the fly. Maybe Pimax do need to work on this. Because playing Beat Saber, I want refresh rate. Playing something like Half-Life Alyx, I might be more happy to take refresh rate down a notch, not all the way down, because there is a lot of gunfire in that game. it down a notch just for that bit of extra FOV, because I think that could be quite
Yeah,
good
I
for the
don't know.
immersiveness of like
Like I said,
open
I
world
don't
games like
know
that, or
what the
open world in the
limitations
sense of
are.
big world.
Pimax
linear.
wise, because I've not tried jumping between them in game. I can't imagine it would be. But I'm not saying it's not there. I just can't imagine it would be great. I remember
Yeah.
things like the high resolution HP reverbs being suggested for people who play things like DCS, like flight sims specifically, where people were saying they didn't find the refresh rate that important. I could not go down to reverb. I believe 75 hertz. I'm double check that. Yeah, I couldn't do that in even in a flight sim. That would be nasty. Don't know why I just went to reverb G2 images. That's not gonna help. Hey, maybe, and it might. Hey, who knows? Maybe it will be one of those headsets that in like a few years gets 144 hertz update out of nowhere.
So, actually, I'll wait until the end for this because it's completely out of context. No,
Oh.
as someone who's only used a 90 hertz headset, 90 hertz is good. It's not anywhere near like using 120 or 144, but it's still like good enough, especially if it's your first headset in the VR. I had one of those moments earlier today when playing Beat Saber where I just genuinely forgot I was I was so immersed in the game that I completely forgot what real life was, sort of thing. Like you're just immersed into it. Quickly snapped out of that, but no, I would agree. I think it would be nice if we could get a headset at some point where you can change the hertz rate, but also change the FOV to fit the game. Like as you said, bringing the hertz rate down a little bit to up the FOV for adventure games or potentially flight sims or other simulators where you don't necessarily need 144 hertz. You could potentially bring it down to 120 or even 110, just to get that bit more immersed. I think that would be like something we'll really see newer top of the range headsets that potentially come out of Vive again, not Vive, sorry, Valve or IMAX potentially in the future. I think that would be an interesting that's one thing I'm interested to see is what's next when it comes to top of the line VR headsets. What are they working on? What could be the difference that makes them the deal breaker? That's what I'm interested to see, and but the possibilities in the future are going to be interesting. So yeah, but I think I think a huge part is also not just the headset, but the actual controls themselves. I would still say that the Index has the best control scheme of any VR headset to date. Also controllers, but I feel like that's still a huge part of the actual whole experience. The controllers you're using, that you can make or break a game. It's quite literally in some games.
God, the Vive ones infuriate me.
I'm used to
Yeah, they're
them,
so
but that's
bad.
because those are the only ones I've ever used.
And I suppose that's if I get used to them, then it'll be
Yeah,
alright.
I've never had issues per se with them.
Either that,
Yeah,
or I pay £20 for some 3D printed filament in a spiral.
It's hard for me to comment directly, but I would say this: going from Vive to Index, I don't think I could go from Index to Vive. So I'm not sure how you're gonna, if you'll ever fully be able to settle in going from Oculus to Vive. If you've only had Vive, though, I totally agree that you can just kind of get used to them. They do suck, but if you're used to them, you're used to them. It's more when you have used something better and you're like, oh my god, I could have had this the whole time. Like, God, just moving in any VR game on a Vive, like, oh, it's just awful. It's just so bad.
Yep.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
I cannot
Again,
wait to get the Knuckles.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. That's probably going to be my next purchase for guys to get the Index Knuckles. Not Knuckles.
Another
sorry,
thing, I feel like I
controllers.
should mention, and again, not sure how this all would affect Oculus in that if you're running from like the Oculus store and not using Steam VR, because all my experience is Steam VR. But it's important to look at like your super sampling in VR as well, right? So Steam VR like has a super sampling slider that's global, and I think you can do a per game one. I've only ever used the global
I think
one.
you can do per game.
I've only used global.
But yeah, so like I'm not particularly experienced at running at absurd super sampling rates like 400% or something because that'd just be I don't know PC performance. But like I imagine that very much could in some situations make seeing text a bit clearer, right? If you're originally rendering it per a much higher resolution and then bring it back down for the actual screens, that could definitely make stuff a bit clearer. Like at the same time though, like it takes a lot of performance. So if you are using VR and you have shitty like time reading text, probably try playing around with your resolution scaling slider and see like where is optimal for you. Because
Fair.
Yeah.
you might have it on like somewhere that is actually not optimal, and you could still easily get the performance you're looking for in that game, especially if on like a 90 Hz screen, by upping the resolution a little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to hear from someone who like recently upgraded to an index.
It would be.
Yeah, if only there was someone here in that situation.
My experience has been quite shocking.
Index good.
Mm,
Other one bad.
other one.
The
Well,
things are right. I don't
Okay.
really notice the difference between refresh rate
Oh.
that well. For me, it's mainly the
Okay.
tracking
Yeah.
and the controllers, which are the main
gonna-
upgrade aspects, which I personally prefer.
Hmm.
Like
And
going
audio.
from 90 to 144 is noticeable, but it's not the deal breaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I still stand by like as much as I said, I think I've said this many times before on the podcast. For me, the biggest upgrade going like if I was to say like the number one upgrade from going from a Vive to an Index, like full kit, is absolutely the headset itself, right? The audio and the comfort of an Index over a Vive is just that is by far the most immediate big upgrade, right? Like the controllers are really, really good. Don't get me wrong, but you could buy those controllers with a Vive, and I think your experience would still be notably worse because wearing a Vive for a long period of time is flat less comfortable than an Index. The audio setup on a Vive is flat less comfortable than an Index. The Index, like one of the most underrated things that it does is how goddamn good the audio is, and just how comfortable that thing can be to wear for a long time. It's got a really good balance of its weight. The headband is very comfortable. I've not had anyone complain with like different head sizes with like the friends and family that have tried it. It's got like the padding that you can put on if you need a smaller head size and stuff. Anyway, like in general, everyone I've seen has had a very positive experience wearing the Index, and I do think it doesn't get credit enough. But like, I think in general, when people VR, people often just miss the usability aspects that are physical, right? Like you can talk about resolution and FOV and refresh rate all you fucking want, but at the end of the day, you're strapping a fucking screen to your face, right? Like making that more comfortable is a huge thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like the sound
Yeah.
from the Index is feel like unbeaten when it comes to default sound. Way they've done the sound projection from the ear cups they use. Something from what I've experienced, can't really be at that sort of price point, I guess, unless you're going to spend hundreds, even thousands more if you really want. So my voice is done.
That's always a good sign.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I would agree. There's so much that people miss out on the actual headset when it comes to, like, I would say, talk about specs as much as you like resolution, hertz rate, and controls and all
Very
that.
painful.
But the actual physical side of it is so important as far as it comfortable. How much does it weigh? That's not as much worry if they can get the balance right. You make it comfortable. Is there inbuilt sound? If so, is it good sound? How are the controllers? And stuff like this that people, I feel, forget, especially when they're talking about high-end VR headset.
Mm.
What they talk about, round it
I
out.
don't think we've covered any films this week. I think we need
Oh
to.
my god, that's a bonus.
Yeah, we need
no.
to. Trying to think if I've actually watched any films. I don't think
I watched
I don't watch films.
episode 5 of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Absolutely amazing. Can't wait.
Oh, would you like to
Fun one.
spoil it for everyone?
No.
Oh.
What else did I watch? Can't remember. I was talking
Yeah, I'm
about
gonna look at
films
my.
to someone the
Oh,
other day.
I watched The Legend,
The
the
Legend.
film I wanted to watch with you. Is it Legend? Legends? I can't remember.
Is it the
I'll have a
one
look.
with Will Smith?
Obviously, the
No,
lasting
sorry, it's
impression of
just
you.
called Legend. There's
The
no Z.
Legend? Like, you sure?
No,
Yeah.
that's I Am Legend.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, Legend.
It's
Yeah, the one with Tom Hardy. Yeah, that is a great film.
yeah, the one that I wanted to watch with you. But then I got
Yeah.
bored and was like, hey, it keeps being recommended to me.
It's got
Quite
a
enjoyed
7.
it.
It's 7 on IMDb.
You enjoyed it, did you say?
Yeah.
For context, for those who don't know what Legend is it's a film based on the Cray twins, who were gangsters in London during the 60s.
Who?
No, 20s. Sorry.
I'd
Okay.
never heard of them before, and now the problem is my prime recommendations are about 50 different films about them. They've had a lot of media behind them. Apparently, I've just never heard of them before.
They were late 50s, 67. Yeah, I was right first time.
Yeah, it was a very interesting film, but you could argue it was a bit predictable. But hey, a bit of fun, and at the end of the day, I think that's quite important when it
How
comes to
was
films. Just a bit of fun.
How was my favorite thing about this? Okay, so my favorite thing about I was just looking at the Ray twins. I was going to say, what do you think? I don't know if it's much of a twist because I can't remember the film too much, but I know one of them was I don't know if he was gay his whole life, but I know he was, and he tried to hide it. At least that was shown in the film. Was that a twist that came out?
How do you mean? Sorry,
Like,
a
was it
twist
obvious from the start that he was gay, or
Oh.
did it just?
I don't think
like-
he ever hid it.
Okay.
Like at least not in the film. I'm pretty sure he didn't, because that was it came up a few times, and of course opinions of that sort of thing. So people gave him odd looks at first, and they're like, you got balls for saying it, kid.
But no, my favorite thing about the Cray twins is their personal lives on on Wikipedia. Ronnie,
Oh,
lovely. Reggie, yeah. Just one line. That's all about him.
Oh, they did my man's dirty.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting film, and I like how they did it. You know, Tom Hardy playing both twins, and I think he did a good role. Did it well. Certainly
Absolutely.
an interesting film, though. What I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would recommend it. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, I would.
Good film if you get a chance to watch it. It kind of
There
just
you
goes
go.
back into that part of London that I feel like somewhat forgotten.
Oh, it's still London.
But yeah,
Can run by gangsters, people talking funny. Exactly it.
Roadman.
Like Cockney.
I'm trying to think of other films. I was going to talk to someone about a film, but I can't for the life of me remember now, and it really pisses me off.
Must have been a bad film.
The
No.
Overwatch League anime has been good so far.
You're watching, sorry, what?
The Overwatch League anime. It's the only seasonal anime I'm watching. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
the only content I've watched.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I was thinking of James Gunn because I forgot he wrote Scooby-Doo movie. Yeah, it's a good film.
Good
I
time.
recommend it. Oh, that was it. I completely forgot they're making a Powerpuff Girls film, which I was like, what?
Oh yeah, I saw one tweet about it,
Yeah,
and I couldn't give a shit, to be honest with you. It wasn't something I grew up watching, so I don't really care about it.
those things. I was like, are they what? This is just all I thought when I heard about it. I was just like, what? It needed?
Well, yeah, apparently.
Yeah, no, there's some interesting films coming out. There's the Thunder
Mostly because they've all
Force.
been delayed for like a few years, so it's all of the big releases like wanting to come out at once.
Oh,
Or the
yeah.
ones that haven't gone straight to stream, that is.
That's true. Wait, there's a Tom and Jerry film? How not aware of
Yeah?
this?
Oh, I keep seeing
2021? It came out
the
this
trailer
year?
for it. Wait, it came out? I didn't know it was already out.
Oh, you can watch. Okay, wait, when did it come
Oh,
out?
okay, that must have been one of the ones that went straight
for
to
Feb.
stream, but you're also going to be able to watch in cinema.
It
when
came out first
they're
in
all open.
Taiwan. Probably
Hell yeah.
why we never heard of it. Interesting.
there some controversy with
Oh,
that film?
I remember now what I was
Like,
going
with
to
the
talk
whole
about.
Tom- Oh yeah.
It's not related to film in any way, shape, or form. It was just
Oh,
it's video related, and that was I watched the Phillips funeral, but I didn't intend to.
How do you accidentally
Right.
watch a funeral?
Because I was on
Apparently.
Twitch,
Oh, this
and
story is so good.
it is. I was on Twitch, and I just saw someone streaming Mordor. No, is it Mordor? What's that fucking chivalry like game?
Shadow of Mordor.
No, give me a moment. He was,
Mordhau?
yeah, that's it, Mordor. Streaming that, and he didn't have a profile picture. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I clicked on it. He had like 50 views. I was like, that's interesting.
Hmm.
Someone with no profile picture streaming a game, got quite a few views. What's going on here? Is he like one of those hackers that get a lot on Twitch now? I clicked on him, and he was just watching the Phillips funeral, and he was a Scots, saying some funny stuff and quite questionable stuff at times. But I thought, fuck it, I'm here now. I'm just gonna watch an hour of Phillips funeral.
We're giving him a recommendation.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was weirdly paced. Again, I haven't seen any of the other royal family. I don't know if it was normal, but it was weirdly paced. It felt like some of the soldiers didn't know what they were doing at times. No offense to them, that like some of the lineups were
I
out of
couldn't
line,
comment.
and so they would have to shuffle back into line, stuff like that, which just feel right. I feel like the coolest thing out of it is the fact that Philip had designed the Land Rover for 10 years ago. And he's just made sure that it's been maintained, and he's modified it over the last 10 years, which
Got V8.
quite nice. I heard that he repainted it to fit authentic World War II colours for that Jeep at the time. So they went with more of an army green.
Blood and sand, I see.
I want to know, what colour was it beforehand? Before you modified the colour, was it
Oh,
just
I
a
bet it's
different
like
shade of
a
green?
nice shiny blue, fresh from a factory.
Yeah, like genuinely. But it was just generic when royal family. Actually, seeing Prince Andrew was a bit weird. He was really shifty the entire time, constantly looking to his sides. Never looked like he couldn't look forward for
God.
more than 10 minutes. It was really weird.
Why are you ragging on different members of the family and soldiers?
Oh, okay, no, the soldiers I can understand, and I give my full respect to them. Prince Andrew, I feel like, he's a questionable member of the family. I feel like he shouldn't have been invited, in my personal opinion.
Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, my question with the family. I think we should up that to nonce.
Okay, you say it, fine.
Why is he nonce?
Yeah, but still, you say it, I'm not.
He's also wanted by the FBI. I just want to point that out.
Yeah,
by
and
the way, still pending an investigation, Andrew. If you're listening,
that's
I'm not
what
sure if you know, but the FBI want to speak to you in America. You should go do that.
imagine if
Go
they
speak
just,
to the FBI in America, Andrew.
imagine if
Do
they
that if you want.
jumped.
Do you know what? Do you know what? You could take a flight over Nonce Island. I think it's still there. It's still there. All Nonce Island. You can fly over and have a look at the view and go, oh yeah, like twat, fucking dick.
Imagine if they jumped him, like genuine.
Sorry,
I don't
the
think
way I
he's
imagine that
criminally
was-
wanted.
The way I imagine, no, he's wanted for fucking. He's not criminally wanted as in like they know he's committed a crime, but he's wanted for questioning, like you would be with the police.
Yeah.
He's just
Not
over there, which is
doing
the equivalent to being wanted.
Well, no,
It's like
I
me
think
living
wanted
in America
implies
and
a
Met Police
criminal.
wanting to speak to me because
Like
they
if you said
have
Charlie
suspicion
was
that I committed a
wanted,
crime.
I'd assumed he'd stabbed someone. It's
I would
it's
say.
a. I think there's
Could
a.
have committed many crimes.
I
What
would
do you
say
Maybe
the
mean?
it's just the
difference
way I
is,
think of it.
wanted is you are known for a crime confirmed with evidence. He is wanted for. I
Wanted
think
for
he's
questioning.
wanted for
Questioning,
questioning
yeah.
and evidence, because he knows stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just
but-
it's not just to get him in trouble. He knows stuff about Jeffrey
Yeah,
Epstein,
it's
so they
so
want to
that he
get that
can disclose to
information.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Prince Andrew situation is basically a slider between he is a nonce defender or he's a nonce,
Yeah.
right? And on the evidence that he's a nonce, you can trust Prince Andrew, who says that he doesn't sweat and he was at a Pizza Hut, or you can trust like the many accounts of the people that were working on the island that saw him fucking a child.
My
Or not
my
fucking, it was
favorite.
being touchy with, right? Like I'm more likely to trust that person, considering I'm pretty sure he does sweat and he wasn't at a Pizza Hut,
No.
considering the staff of the Pizza Hut said he wasn't there.
my favorite thing about this, Pizza Express. My favorite thing
Oh,
about this
whatever. Same fucking restaurant.
is the amount of tweets I saw
I'm
after the
glad
funeral
Maxim's still
saying
here
Prince
after all this
Andrew
crap.
pretty sus. I swear he was sweating at the funeral. Because there's just loads of pictures
God
of him.
among us.
But yeah, no, like it's really difficult, that situation, or isn't, but because he could just go in and question him. But if he went in, he's given himself in. But also, he'll give so much information on the whole Jeffrey Epstein and so much more that, like, it's if he went in, then there's going to be so much given out, probably not to the public, but to the FBI and America in general, about what goes on in the royal family or certain sides of the royal family. Because definitely not a a pure family. But the thing I love about, like, the thing I've been seeing a lot recently is, I personally don't believe Prince Harry is not is it Prince Prince Harry isn't his dad isn't the same as Prince William, not by any stretch of the world. They look completely different. Um,
Oh god.
This is not where I thought you were
Yeah.
going. I don't know. Like, sorry, this has really
This
caught
is
me
not
off
where I thought
guard.
the podcast was
I
going.
feel I
to be
feel like
honest.
yeah, he's got a different dad to Prince. He's
I thought
Prince
you were
to
going to talk
person.
about like some other like illegal activities you think some of the British royals get up to, and then no, we've just got into
Oh
a
no, because we
conspiracy theory
discussed
about the royals having, committing adultery.
we love talking about this, and we've discussed it. We've discussed how the Queen eats children. They're alive. I've
Yeah,
just
she does.
realised something I wanted to recommend last week. This is going back to the film thing, so let's take it back full circle. I don't know if I spoke about this actually, but a film I really want to see and highly recommend is The Sound of Metal, which is, if you have not heard about it, it's a recent film about a drummer who's in a metal band who loses his hearing. And so it's a story about him going through the struggles and overcoming them and learning stuff, and just that whole issue of being a musician and then losing your passion, but then overcoming it. And it looks like a really interesting film that I would love to watch and highly recommend. I've heard great things about it, the acting, the story writing, and the such. I've heard great things about it. I highly recommend it. Sound of Metal. Don't know if I spoke about it last week or not, so do apologise.
Some interesting stuff that kind of ties back to what we were saying earlier about a phone that I'm just seeing sort of.
Hoping it wasn't for
I know
family.
it's a topic jump, but it's interesting.
Mm.
So there's been reporting by the Dutch newspaper Volkskrant on Huawei. Huawei have obviously been under a lot of scrutiny from a lot of different places for a lot of different reasons about possibilities that they're spying or sending data back, or some people arguing that they aren't at all. And it's been revealed now that in 2010, KPN, and now it's important to give context on who KPN are. KPN are basically like the main sort of telecommunications phone service like company in the Netherlands, right? Which originally was a government-run thing, but now is like a private company. So in 2010, KPN commissioned a risk assessment on Huawei, because obviously Huawei provides a lot of the equipment that these telecommunication companies use to build up their networks. And the findings were apparently so bad that KPN chose not to release them to the public because they expected it would cause the demise and failure of Huawei's company
Okay.
and their own.
Right.
They found that Huawei had complete access to the entirety of KPN's network. They could eavesdrop on every single communication, every single phone conversation, including those of the Prime Minister. They knew that Huawei could discover what numbers were monitored by police and intelligence services, and all of this could be accessed from China itself. Huawei had full access to the personal info of the KPN subsidiary Telfort, and the customer information of all of those people that would subscribe to whatever that company does. Huawei installed several ways to obtain this info into the network and did so regularly. Huawei refused to close down these pathways when they were confronted internally by KPN. It's claimed by Volkskrant, this newspaper, that KPN never furthered this investigation with like another investigation into what information they actually stole. They just decided to sort of not look into that, but they knew they were stealing information. They just didn't know what they ended up getting their hands on. And it's since been revealed because of this drama that KPN insiders have come out, despite KPN saying that their internal network is no longer Huawei. Apparently, most of their internal network is still Huawei. That's pretty interesting. Like if you're interested in the whole Huawei drama, yeah, that's a pretty damning report.
Definitely.
Some drama going down in the Netherlands.
And how? Yeah, I love how last podcast we did, we spoke about phones, and you said don't buy Huawei unless you want to get spied on. So there
Yeah.
you go.
Don't
Well,
buy any of them unless you want to get spied on. It's just a choice of who you want to get spied on by.
iPhone.
Yeah, it's literally the US or China.
Yeah, if you want to get
Mm.
spied on by Edwin Snowden himself, by I can't think of any Russian
follow
phone
him on
brands.
Twitter.
Nice. Well done. Very witty.
Right. I think we should start rounding this over. Any last things you guys would like to talk about?
I feel like I used mine up when you last said about maybe bringing it to a close.
Cool.
to be honest,
Yeah.
but,
Let's.
I mean, there's
you know.
the only other thing I could talk about is kind of
Okay.
grim, but it's up to
Okay.
you.
Nah. Let's keep this happy and
Sad.
It's too
sad.
late for that.
Did you want? Why not? Let's talk about it then. Because you guys are getting
Okay, all right. I'll just quickly
Mention
mention it. In other interesting world politics thing, Alexei Navalny, the main opposition to Putin in Russia that's been in prison after the drama that went down, is apparently, according to his doctors and people close to the scene, very close to dying from his hunger strike. So yeah,
interested.
that's interesting. That's going to be a pretty significant world event if that happens. If you weren't aware, Russia attempted to poison him, and it didn't succeed. And then he phoned up a Russian intelligence officer and pretended to be his boss and got him to just admit that they did it, and it was quite funny.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like literally, he just phoned them up pretending. They literally just straight up admitted to it. It's quite funny. Yeah, they put like a nerve agent in his underwear.
Wait, no. I need to know. I'm reading up on this myself because that is
Yeah,
something
he
I've never
observed it-
heard of.
Absorbed the poison for his balls.
Jesus.
Sad boy. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
pretty serious situation.
They don't care, do they? They just poison anybody they need to.
Well, that's the current world record of them. Yeah, they're certainly up there on the countries that
Mm.
poison political targets and have zero world consequences for it because we all go, Russia, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, right. That's a great end to the podcast.
Mm.
Oh, as always, is there anything you guys would like to promote or to say?
Me.
Okay, go and follow Delicious on youtube.com/delicious. Thanks, Ash. And what
Excellent.
about yourself,
Apparently
Agent
that's
Oink?
I would like to promote youtube.com/Overwatch League. Watch the Overwatch League.
Perfect, actually, that's really good, yeah.
Good fun.
I would like to promote It's Maxim because he's a good lad.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here as always. That was actually, I didn't expect it to go the way it did, especially at the end, but it did.
No.
That's how these podcasts go. But no, thank you
Yeah.
very much for joining us as always, and we hope you have a lovely evening. We will be back live next Sunday on Twitch, and this will be up on all the wonderful platforms, so do check those out as always, and check out the personal socials. I highly recommend checking out everybody's Twitter. It's interesting. Me and Agent Oink had a lovely discussion about football and Overwatch teams.
Hmm.
All I'm going to say. And yeah, keep up the grind. Always have a good evening, good day, good night, good morning, and we'll see you next one. Hurrah.
Bye.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh. God.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the recording fellows?
Yeah, I think I got away with banning T. I don't think he's gonna realise, thankfully.
I doubt he'll
So,
watch all
you
of
know.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think this is my confession time. Oops.
Nice smooth recovery, right? Like you totally didn't mean to do it or anything.
the thing is-
Haha, wink.
Because I saw that, I didn't see the names particularly, so I thought it was Alfie that accidentally banned T, because I thought you were going to ban the bot, but obviously the bot got banned by Phelan, so then you went for the bot. But then
It
I
really caught me. I had to try so hard to not laugh. I didn't. I wanted to succeed, but it really tickled me for some reason.
That was absolutely beautiful. Right. Yeah. No. Right.